Yeah, we find her, that beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So go so the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. He was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes are killing it tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together, take your place in my heart. With your beauty I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. One beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours.
cause the girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and get I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, oh, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we're done enough.
What is going on? Emergency. All right, emergency meeting. Nigerians, if you're in the Obodo Oyinbo, let's talk. If you live in the overseas in Nigeria, especially if you live in America, I want to talk to you. Okay, this is an emergency meeting, right? Very important message. If I let it pass this moment, there's a good chance I won't get to it. There's an extremely good chance that I won't get to it. And I want to make sure that I cover it. As you can even tell, I'm going to talk very kind of solemn, voice low, because I actually lost a little bit of my voice since yesterday. We just did a show last night, right? So even if I was going to do a show today, I wasn't planning to come back until late night today. But then my servers are kind of down. So, you know, the work I'm supposed to do this morning, I was like, you know what? Let me address this right now. Let's have a good time addressing this today. It's nothing negative or bad. You know, shout out to Brother Patrick. I see you, sir. Let me acknowledge you, sir. Good to see you, sir. Yes, emergency meeting. So I figure, you know what? Let's talk about it. I know many of you will be at work. You're going about dropping the babies off, doing the things that you normally do in the morning. You're not expecting anyone to come live right now. But this is very important, okay? I was just upstairs, okay? By the way, shout out to Auntie B. We're going to do a more elaborate topic on this on Thursday. I'm going to be over at our platform at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time, on Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. But I want to talk to Nigerians, you know, and I'm going to be reacting to Daddy Free's video. My wife is just upstairs. She's preparing for her day, and she was watching Daddy Free's video in the background, and I was hearing some things. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was like, there's no way. But there is way. I've always suspected that, you know, I've kind of seen some things around, but there was just way too many signals, too many, like little to no wonder why people are struggling with their relationships, from regular relationships to marriage to parenting. It all starts with your mindset. It's how you think, is your outlook on life, right? But, you know, pardon my manners, okay? Let me do some quick housekeeping stuff. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Over here, we talk about relationships, self-power, social and emotional intelligence. We also talk about seduction and attraction. And you can download our book at loveandprestige.com. It's free, you know, and you can also book a personal coaching there. A lot of people are struggling because of their own mindset, okay? I won't say their own fault, because honestly, this is becoming way too common. And if all you do in life is you play defense, right? If you have no idea how to play offense, you suffer. You suffer. And there will be enough things around you, external factors to blame. There will be more than enough, right? But you're blaming the wrong things. So you wallow in it until you buy, right? Until you delete, right? And that's what's going on with a lot of people. People are basically victims of their own mindset, for the most part, in my own estimation. Okay, you can join the notification gang on WhatsApp using that link, lolanola.com/WhatsApp, or you can send a WhatsApp text to 732-305-8577. We'll get you inside. So let's get into this. I got a video that I'm going to react to. I only watched a small part of it. I was like, you know what? I want to watch this together with the Prestige family, as usual. Okay, but we're going to do that with making sure I give proper credit to whom credit is due, and that's Daddy Freeze. I will be reacting within the fair use guidelines. Okay, so let me pull up the video and let's start going through it. What I'm hearing is just very sad, because I wish I could, instead of me just talking with my wife about it because we agree on this, I'd rather share with potentially 40, 50 people that can also spread it, right? And it's not about agreeing with me today. It's about consideration for other perspectives, right? Particularly my perspective on these issues, right? So let me pull up the video and then we can start diving through this baby right now. Yeah. All right, so it was basically this video. We're going to be talking a little bit more in an elaborate manner on Auntie B's show on Thursday. We're not going to be reacting to this video, but this would be a very good prerequisite, preamble to that show, okay? But a lot of people are struggling, like I said, in their relationships, in their marriage, even in parenting, right? And because they keep blaming external factors, they don't really pay attention. There's no accountability at all, right? Babe, you out? Yeah. All right, love you. See you later. All right. All right, so let's talk about this. I'll stop playing and then we can just react, okay? Let me make sure I'm not showing any brand. They're not paying me, right? So let's get to it.
How far? Now you guy will get the story we want to share.
Never. Never.
So we define.
The topic of this session was avoid Nigerian communities abroad. Them go scatter your marriage. Nigerian man says. Let me convert that to English language. Avoid Nigerian communities overseas and the abroad. They will scatter your marriage. That's what a Nigerian man says. Okay, so I always like to give the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to assume that I know what they're talking about, right? But I heard just a bit, about 5 minutes or so, and I'm like, you know what, let me not prejudge. Let's bring it to the Prestige family. Let's be the judge together. So let's go.
With one guy, they say his name Nakim.
Okay. DF, let me quickly say this real quick. One of the problems that we have is sometimes the Nigerian community. If you have your family around the Nigerian community, it is very, very toxic. And they can actually ruin your marriage for sure.
If you have your children around the Nigerian community, they're very, very toxic. They can actually ruin your marriage, he says. Let's see. Let's hear his argument.
Letting your wife, I've been here in the US for quite some time with my family, and we don't hang out with Nigerians. We can say hello, anything.
Did you see that young lady put up thumbs up, meaning she's agreeing, right? She's agreeing with him. Okay. The thumbnail says, meet the toxics. Okay. I'm going to point out who the toxics are for you. So if you see these people, not them in particular, but people with their type of mindset, they're actually the toxic one in the Nigerian communities. Okay. Let's keep going.
It has to do with their churches, doing with whatever they are gathering. They are very, very toxic. They claim to go to all the churches and everything. Trust me, they will look for one way or the other to come into your marriage and break your marriage so that they...
People on the outside of your marriage, yes, they're in your community. They will look for a way to come into your marriage and destroy it, including the churches. I go to a Nigerian church. I can't pretend to know what they mean, right? But I can't pretend to not know what he means, but it's off. Hey Barbie, Flygerian, good to see you. But it's still off. Let's keep going.
Can actually have the opportunity to mock you and laugh at you. Most especially the ones that call themselves pastors. I don't want to be naming names. Here in California or here in Fresno where I live, I can actually name names.
He said most especially those that call themselves pastors. He doesn't want to name names. I'm going to guess that this gentleman, I'm just guessing, I will bet my monthly livelihood on it. He lost his marriage. A pastor was involved in trying to help them. It didn't work out. He felt like the pastor was taking sides. Shout out to all the people that feel like, oh, it's not always that people went through some painful. It's always. The only reason why you can relate with certain conversations at a level of you having extremely strong generalized opinion, it's because you've gone through something similar and you refuse to hold yourself accountable. That's the only reason. Listen, just keep looking. Like, I'm making a blanket, broad, very absolute statement. I'm very aware. I want you to start paying attention to it. You don't have to prejudge people. You just be patient. Just wait. Eventually, because they tend to talk so much that eventually they tell on themselves. They will tell on themselves. You just have to wait. Use it as your own practice of patience. They will eventually tell on themselves. Okay? Let's keep going. That's an hasty generalization. No one can destroy your marriage but you. That's it. You and your spouse together. Joint forces, right? All it takes is at least one of the couple to destroy a marriage. So why would you skip yourself and skip your partner and then go to external factors? Why? Because it's like the weather. You want to blame the weather for. These are environmental factors. They're going to be there. It's your responsibility to learn how to navigate environmental factors. That's your responsibility. And if it takes you out, it's so, like, let's say there's some kind of thunder that took you out. It does happen. But usually that's not the case. But you can't skip yourself and skip your partner and then go to his default of Nigerian pastors and Nigerian churches or their communities. So we're just going to conclude. Let me make sure I isolate myself from these communities because they're toxic. Can you hear a toxic person talking? Listen to toxic people when they're talking, okay?
I just have to pull over real quick because I was driving. I can actually...
This topic was too strong for him. He had to pull over because he must donate his own. You think, oh no, he's just seeing some other people and he's empathizing with... No, it's his personal experience, but it's not telling us he's capping big time.
Name names. Keep your family out of the Nigerian community if you want to have peace with your marriage.
See advice. Keep your family out of Nigerian community if you want to have peace in your own marriage. They often want to advise the whole world too. They can't wait to save the whole world. It's a struggle. Do me a favor. I beg. As you're coming in, shout out to you. It's an emergency meeting. Hit that like button, share and subscribe. Share and subscribe. Let's keep going.
They are very, very dangerous. They can ruin your marriage. I always say this to everybody: if you just migrate to anywhere, keep your family to yourself 100%. You taking your business to other people outside, telling your friend, or sometimes your closest friend can be the most dangerous person to you. They will give you advice in order for them to have the opportunity to laugh at you or mock you.
In order to have the opportunity to laugh at you and mock you. There are certain types of people, they're always looking over their shoulder. They always feel like something is out to get them. Someone is out to get them, not something. So I will add on to it that yes, something is always out to get you. Something is always out to destroy everything you've cooked, everything you're building. Something is always, not necessarily someone. Sometimes it's someone, but let's start with something. And then after we leave something, we have to go to yourself. Sometimes it's the way you move, your own mindset that is out to destroy your joy. Just the way you think, which is the whole point of renewal of your mind, because your mind is much more powerful than all of these different external factors. Your mind is much more powerful if you're not careful. And I can hear this gentleman's mind as he's talking. Everything else but self, but your partner, but your mind is responsible for destroying your marriage. People just don't join this conversation unless they've had certain type of experience. Stop the cap. People don't join this conversation. They've had certain types of experiences. It is what it is. I need to keep calling it out. Let's stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Hey, Natu, it is emergency meeting. If I don't talk about this right now, something else will come. I felt like it was important. Okay? Let's keep going. I want to rewind a little bit. He said something that I felt like I needed to address.
Sometimes your closest friend can be the most dangerous person to you.
Before we get to your closest friend, we have to talk about yourself. Sometimes you're the most dangerous person for yourself. So if you say your closest friend is a dangerous person, yes, it's possible, yes. However, that's not the leverage point. The leverage point is to first of all assess self. The first stopping point when it comes to emotional intelligence is self. Self-intelligence, your own mind, how your own emotions work. If you can't do that, you can't, there's no way. You can't get to the next step, which is how other people's emotions work, like paying attention to that. If you don't even realize first that I'm an emotional being myself, you can forget about it. It's not going to happen. Right?
They will give you advice in order for them to have the opportunity to laugh at you.
They will advise you so they can destroy you. That's what he's saying. While this could be true in many cases, this is not the angle you want to be looking at things from. It's not. You're basically handing over the power to these people, imaginary people.
Mock you. That's what they do.
In order to mock you.
Here in California, not just only in California, even in places like Texas and all of them.
Is worse in Houston. Is worse.
Competition Olympics, victim Olympics. She said it's worse in Houston. He said California. Right? Now they've given me name on Obodo fam. They said I'm generalizations prefect. I take it. I accept the honor. Thank you. Okay. She said it's worst in Houston. I bet somebody is gonna come from Brooklyn and say, no, it's worst in Brooklyn. No, it's worst. I bet the African American will say, oh, y'all don't know what we're going through. No, it's worse with us. You don't want none of our communities in your business because they will destroy your marriage.
In Houston, not just
That's exactly what it is. They are very, very toxic. They're looking for, they don't have any other thing because all their life is competition. the life they live in is competition, so that they can have the opportunity to mock you.
Their life is competition, so they can have the opportunity to mock you. People are just hanging around in the corner and just say, I'm looking for the next person that will tell me about their family so I can take it, weaponize it against them, and destroy them. Do people do this? Yes, they do. Is this the reason why your marriage was destroyed? No, it is not. That's the point I'm making. No, it is not. Okay? And we're going to assess that properly today. Shout out to you, Yvette. I see you, Yvette. Good to see you. Natu, how now? Good morning, Ola. I hears the broadcast watching the video yesterday. A few folks called in with this matter. I got caught up in the callers' generalizations. It was wow. All of you will become generalization prefects. You'll be detecting it by the time we're done with this project, which is probably never. This project called Men of Prestige. Okay? Okay? Dapo says, you really need to experience some things before you will understand. You're confirming my point. It's people with a certain types of experience that speak like this. They only speak from their own lens. And basically their mind is now... Their mind is, what's the word? Crippled. They can't think outside. They can't think objectively. They can only think from the lens of their experiences. And that's a problem, because that will help them keep sabotaging a chance ever. That's a problem, right? The whole world is not just your lens. You have to. That's the whole point of healing, proper healing, wholesome healing, so that you're able to see the world a little bit beyond your lenses again. Right? You're confirming my point, essentially. Shout out to you, Dakbo. Heard the broadcast. Okay. I used to have a roommate who hated when I dressed better than her. So if I ask for a suggestion on what to wear, she goes with the less finer ones. That's weird. But we're talking about family and marriage right now, okay? That's weird. Okay, I'm sure those people exist. I get it. So I stopped asking her and showed up in what I feel comfortable in. One time, she said to wear the other one, and I said, nope, suggestions not accepted. I need to know what frame of reference you were measuring what she determined from. Because if you didn't need her to tell you, why are you asking her for her opinion? If you didn't need her, why did you need her to tell you her opinion in the first place? And how were you able to measure that what she's giving you is just so she can look better than you, or whatever you said? She hated when you dressed better than her. How did you measure that it was better than hers? How did you measure? Because again, you're talking about something extremely subjective. I need you to give me how you were able to measure that. That's not how she truly felt. That it had nothing to do with how she dressed. I need more story. This is the point of everything I'm saying. It doesn't mean you're not correct. It just means, based off of what you just said, I'm not able to tell the frame of reference. You measure from here to here in order to, from A, what was the point A? In order to say, point B was actually better than point A. I need to know what the point A was. Did somebody now told you when you got to where you were going, the outing, that she looked better? And then suddenly you're like, oh, she wanted to look better. We need more to it. Yeah, I know it's hard. There's multiple layers to it, but that's the point we're making. Now, instead of worrying about all of those different layers, self, you got to look back in. You got to look back in. Right? And just looking back in and renewing your mind will take over a lot of your energy anyway. I'm so glad I'm doing this. I had a little bit of itchy throat this morning. I feel like it's clearing up. Maybe I'm supposed to do this session. All right. It's deep. It's deep. We're going to get to it. There's more to it because we need more context. There was no positive expression regarding his people. That's what I'm hearing, okay? I'm hearing people, so far, I could be wrong. So far, I'm hearing self-hate. If you go within the Nigerian community, there is self-hate. If you go within the African American community, there is self-hate. If you go into any communities in the world, there is self-hate, okay? That's what we're talking about right now, okay? And there are more than enough real-life events to point at to say this is self-hate, or to gravitate away from the idea that it's self-hate. You can look around you. There's always somebody doing something wrong. There's somebody hating on you. There's a community there of toxic people that you know, there are people in churches that they argue in the parking lot, and you're like, I can't bring my family around this. There's going to be more than enough events around you that you can point fingers at and blame them for the demise of your own marriage. And that's not helpful. That's not helpful, because the truth is that those are environmental factors. They will always be there. And now you're taking attention away from the actual issue. Let's keep going.
Have the opportunity to laugh at you. I think that's the problem those people have, because they didn't know what was going on. Most especially the females. They'll come around and lie to you just to tear your family apart.
What did she say? She said most especially females. Most especially females. They're just having a conversation. We can't blame them, right? I'm not going to ask him for stats or data. I'm not going to ask him for that, okay? He's just having a conversation. I'm just going to assume he's speaking from his own personal experience, which is fine. He said most especially females. I just want you to assess this properly, okay? These are the toxic traits, okay? Toxic doesn't mean a crime. It just means the toxin is inside you. It's probably something that has to do with you, because all you can control is how you respond to the environment where you find yourself. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. You remove yourself, you go somewhere else, it's your shadow. It follows you everywhere you go. It follows you. So anytime we go out and you say Natu, you look fine, she jumps in and say, what about me? Yeah, that's making better sense, Natu. Yeah, that's making better sense. That's still very weird. You know, acknowledge it's weird, right? But yeah, for that kind of person, now imagine now you have the issue here is not that you're not correct. It's that when you now have new friends, you're not going to be looking over your shoulder. Like, I don't want to ask my friend an opinion about what I look like, because they tend to be haters. If you've had enough of those experiences, you will start, your filter will become exactly that. You start seeing everybody that same way. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about if one thing is right or wrong. We're talking about just understanding how these things work, right? Our experiences are beautiful because that's what, you know, gives, but we need to be able to, when it's very toxic in nature, we need to be careful so that it doesn't turn us to toxic beings. That's what I'm talking about. You know? Let's keep going.
I've been here in years for a good 19 years. Myself, my wife, in fact, my entire family, we all live here. There is nothing like Nigerian guys.
This brother says he's been here for 19 years. Well, what's 19 years ago? 19 years ago is anything after 2000, right? I get it. Once you've been here more than 2 years, you start to feel like you're a veteran. You start to feel like there's nothing new to learn. You know, it's pride at best, okay? That particular statement, okay? I know people that have been here for 30 years. They not only do they sound like they're still from the village, their mindset is literally is the village. Okay, even worse, people that live in Lekki are more westernized and more progressive in their thought. It doesn't make, I don't care how long you live here, is the point I'm making. It doesn't matter. The mind is a powerful part of who we are, right? If you want to get stuck in there are people lamenting, wanting to take family back to the way it was operated in 1960, right? It doesn't matter. The mind is a powerful thing. It can live in its own little chamber and get stuck there and then hurts itself, hurts you, because you refuse to have some social intelligence.
Anytime we're doing anything, it's just within us here. My dad lives here. My mom lives here. My brothers and sisters and all of them, they all live here. My dad has a total of 19, maybe 21 grandchildren here. We all live here. Whenever we are doing,
and all these 21 grandchildren, are they not part of the Nigerian communities? Are they not part of the Nigerian communities? Listen.
It's strictly family. No other extended family is invited. We keep ourselves, keep whatever we're doing to ourselves.
We're just going to keep everything to ourselves. We're going to pretend like we live in a cave. Like we don't have to deal with other people. I'm being sarcastic, just in case you didn't detect. Okay? I'm being sarcastic. Shout out to Daddy Freeze for this content. I was new to America one time, so I will ask. I'm live. I know it's fake stuff. So I will ask for suggestions on what is appropriate to that event. I will ask for suggestions. Okay, I see. Good morning, MOP, and my family here. Hola, what's the emergency? I hope all is well, though. All is well, Eunice. All is well. But we need to address this mindset issues. It's an emergency. Because if I don't address it right now, I probably will. Other things will happen. And I had the time today to address it, so let's do it. Brother Patrick said, does pastors divorce? Yes. Why is the lumping pastors and Nigerians into his predicament? Thank you, Brother Patrick. Now you are assuming with me that he has predicaments. I will bet my monthly livelihood he has predicaments. We don't know that yet, but I will bet. Because people don't talk like this unless they've had these experiences. Shout out to Dapo, like what he said. Right? But your experiences can literally cripple you for the rest of your life if you don't find proper healing. If you go in the direction of generalization as a form of healing, it will hurt you. It will hurt you, and it will basically cripple your chances of creating the results you're looking for. Right? Because you basically assume the rest of the world is exactly the experience you've had. Nigerian women are just terrible. All they want is money. That's your experience speaking. So you say, hey, everyone is going to be like that, right? And I don't judge you because your brain is working like a typical human being. But you need to push against it. You need to push against it. And sometimes you need support system to help you push against it. Right? Why going to them for counseling? They're not professionals. He's trying to make that point too. To be fair to him, let's keep going. Actually,
everybody remains the same way and forget about all the Umunete or whatever they call it. Trust me, they will have peace. You can settle what every family has issues. You can settle whatever issue you have with your family in your house without having anybody come in, without looking for a second opinion. So that's all I have to say. Keep your family out of the Nigerian community, and that's it.
I guess.
So the Nigerian community are broke.
Let's be honest. At that last few minutes, it sounds like a good advice, right? Keep it within your family. There are contexts where that's actually a good advice. Like there's a part of the conversation where we can say, hey, be careful who you share your issues with, right? But that's not a Nigerian community thing, right? That's about just being careful. That could literally be the people inside of your family. There are some people inside of your own siblings that you don't need to be sharing some issues with, because they will overreact. It will become their own matter when all you're looking for is just a simple advice. You get what I'm saying here? Let's keep going.
God is this toxic.
Yes.
They are very, very toxic. 100%.
Yes. Daddy Free said, I didn't know the people in the abroad is this toxic. Meet the toxics, not Daddy Freeze, but all the people sharing this news with him. Okay, these are the rhetorics that becomes toxic. That becomes what is the actual toxin, right? This actual mindset. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Maddie Love. Hey, Maxwell.
Yes. See,
as in this, it's not just equal to Yoruba.
All of them.
Daddy Freeze.
He said all of them. Forget that thing.
Where our people stay. When I mean 1 hour, I mean I live 1 hour away.
No brands. No brands. No brands.
Stay for this same reason. I barely go to the store, the African stores. For that reason, I barely cook our food because I go once in a blue moon. Exactly. This is super true.
This is why they judge us that we assimilate with the white supremacy. I barely go to the African store. What does that make you, an Oyinbo? You're better than. You're not in Nigeria no more. I mean, what exactly are you trying to say? What's the point of all of this bourgeoisie? Shout out to, what's the other brother? The other Oyinbo brother. The one we talked about, the one that was judging Ebony K. Williams. I forgot his name now. Right?
mean true.
Exactly.
I mean
That the
120%.
phrase that have been in America for good 19 years. No
Who
guarantee.
cares,
No
man?
Nigerian, you can have. In fact, you don't see Nigerians in my house.
You don't see.
Never.
No.
You don't see Nigerians in my house, never. All three of them are green. Ha! Aye mi temi ba mi. Hey.
Hey! Aye mi temi ba mi.
Problematic. The mindset is problematic. The mindset is problematic. Right? Just look at the face of the young lady right next to the gentleman. She seems disgusted by the idea of Nigerian people coming to my house. Amy, at Nigerians. Oil and water don't mix. I know I'm a Nigerian, but I don't associate with Nigerians. That's the most blatant way you could say that. But they probably won't say it like that. You know, if you have this mindset and you have a so taste coming out of your mouth, yeah.
None.
No.
I brought my wife. My wife came from Nigeria. My first daughter was born in Nigeria, and we are all here. No family.
We are all here. I brought my wife. My Nigerian wife came from Nigeria, and my daughter was born in. We are all here.
If I open my mouth and tell you the messages men sent to my ex when I used to live with him on how.
Wait, oh, auntie. If somebody bring you a little bit with it, you can take it to the next level. He said females. He said mostly females. Don't talk about men. Now she wants to talk about her ex. Let's wait. Let's listen. Let's listen.
To treat me, a wife. If you see the messages that fellow men were advising their fellow men,
Nigerian community is toxic.
I deliberately ran away.
Nigerian community is toxic in abroad. Not toxic. Toxic in abroad. We're throwing ourselves under the bus. Black people all around the world, we have a tendency to do this. Am I generalizing too? I may be sounding. I think people in general, they do that. If you want to set yourself apart, right? You need to just just be a little bit sensitive to yourself when you're generalization, a little bit, because you're a human being like the rest of us. We generalize. That's just what we do based off of our experience, right? But when it gets to this level, you see, now she's saying fellow men, and my nigga is like, oh yeah, just Nigerian people are toxic altogether. Wahala. Hey, let me see. She's feeling bougie because she doesn't relate with Nigerians. It's lack of emotional intelligence. Like, listen, all of us have a little bourgeoisie inside of us. You want to feel like you're a little like I'm better than whatever. I better pass my neighbor. But for it to be coming out of your mouth, that's pride. It's pride. It's worse than pride, because pride is also healthy at some levels, right? With Nigerians or Africans, she's struggling with identity crisis. Those are the issues we're seeing here. Okay? When you say, hey, these people are just toxic, I like to avoid them, they are the one that caused the demise of my marriage, they are toxic, me, I'll just keep to myself, It's identity crisis, so don't let the devil deceive you, okay? We're not saying you couldn't be better in the way you conduct yourself than a certain type of people, but humility is your point of leverage at that point, because you're really not. I keep saying, don't put yourself on that pedestal. You'll fall off all the time, and your mouth will help you fall off, because the real truth will come out of your mouth without you knowing it, right? Nigerian or not, you need to pick the right friends. Thank you. Bring it down to individual levels. This has to do about you. It has to do with you more than it has to do with all these other external factors, which they're easy to blame. for everything wrong that happened to you, your marriage, and your relationships. It's easy. I understand. It's easy to blame everything else but self. I get it. But sometimes it's just the fault of, I know. But you need to first of all start from self so that you don't cripple yourself. You don't give your power away to other people. Anytime you're pointing fingers, you're giving away your power. It's a blind spot. It's a massive blind spot. It feels like you're just holding people and others accountable for where they're wrong, but it's a blind spot. I promise you. If I didn't eat my Niger food, I'll go home. Go home. Now burger for they eat every day. Wait, why is Yoruba people collecting stray bullets? Not to. You know now. It's sad when I see some Nigerians generalizing. I can't laugh too much because I'm trying to heal these throats. It's sad when I see some Nigerians generalizing Nigerians and other black people as bad. Hey, Luxury, good to see you. No wonder some black Americans and other Africans dislike our attitudes because of arrogance. We need to move in humility. I know it sounds kumbaya. It sounds like I'm the punk saying that I can't say things with my full chest. But I guarantee you are the weak one if you don't see what I am saying. But I'm patient. I'll wait, okay? Yes, when I heard him denounce all of his people by separating himself and her, I didn't see their faces, just heard the voices. This is the type who looks only to be Oyinbo. That's what I'm talking about. It's identity crisis. My 7-year-old nephew cannot survive 2 days without eating two. If I don't associate with, I said I don't want to laugh now to stop it. If I don't associate with Nigerians where I won't see amala. Empty pride. Exactly. Empty barrel. That's a good phrase. Empty pride. No, you're not generalizing. It happens in some Caribbean culture too. Yes, they were denying identity. Yes, black people, we tend to struggle with this more. I have observed. Okay, in general, we blame our community. In fact, sometimes we go to the extent of saying we don't have no culture. We don't have no culture. African American people don't have culture. Shut your ass up. There's no such thing as humans without culture. It doesn't exist. There is culture. You just have identity crisis inside of yourself. Has their lack of association changed the price of conflicts? No, it doesn't. My experience in relationship here in the diaspora with Nigerian men is toxic compared to back home, but I would never say they are all same. I was only unfortunate to meet, yes, Madi love. At some point, it's natural for you to say that if you've had enough experience, right? But that's where the work comes in. You change your circle, you talk to someone, you say, hey, somebody else that may see other things you can't see, or particularly how you're attracting these people, right? That's, you regain your power by admitting that I am attracting these people. Now you can change something. But if you say, no, I'm not attracting shishi, it's their fault. You gave your power away just like that. Like that simple. And it's the easiest thing to do. It's extremely easy to do. Yeah. After sharing the grace in the church, no to enter my car home straight, these people are the real wahala themselves. They are. They are. I go to Nigerian church. I'll say hello. I hug people. Yes, some people try to trigger me every now and then. There was still a lady to try to trigger my wife yesterday. I look at my wife squarely in the face and I'm like, I know. And my input were small so that she doesn't get, because the way I respond to her when she's sharing certain things with me also can help her even get triggered even the more. Before you know it, you're the toxic one. It takes toxic and toxic to get more toxic. If it's just one-sided toxic, it's deleted on arrival. And yes, it's easier said than done, because yes, people around you in general can trigger you. But for you to generalize it's all Nigerians, that's given. That's really you. That's you. If it's just you that this keep happening to, that's you. At some point you gotta be like that, but is it only me? At some point.
all of them. They are horrible. They are horrible.
Come here to tell you
They are horrible. See language.
And to their life is full of competition. When you start doing that, they make you live the life of competition.
But you know the fun thing?
What's wrong with competition?
You're right. They know what they are doing.
100%. They actually
know what they are
doing. 100%.
They know what they're doing.
They super know what they are doing because I have a lot of experiences with them when it comes to things like that.
I agree 2000%.
Of course you agree. We saw the disgust in your face earlier.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
They can't wait to hear you because they know you're about to agree with them. Ola, why don't you call into these shows and correct them? No. Slow down. Okay? That will be pride on my part. That's the way I assess it. Okay? Part of social intelligence is learning how to read a room. You don't jump into a room where everybody's agreeing because you want to be Captain Save a what? It doesn't work. Okay? That's why I have a platform. We can talk about this, and if they find themselves their way to here, they will figure it out. Okay? No. You think I can change these people's mind? You tell me, do you think I can change their mind? Tell me. No. If I detect that I could be prejudging, maybe I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong too. If I find a way to mitigate it, I will. Okay? I don't like panels too much, but every now and then I'm on panels and I'm okay with it. Every now and then, you know. But even when I'm on there, I'll rather just listen because I could be wrong. I want to hear where they're coming from. Right? But that means time. That's a lot of my resources. Right? But this auntie says, you know, they can't wait to hear her. Let's see what she has to say, right?
I agree 100% with what you have said. You know, in order to keep your marriage sane, in order to keep your marriage in this part of the world, you need to distance yourself from this toxic set of people.
That's the individualism that, what's his name, was talking about. The individual mindset. You can't survive winning in this life at the level of legacy if you don't respect the community. See, I push against community because people that don't know how to do family are trying to fix community. I push against it in that context. But to completely disrespect the need for community, or it takes a village concept, it's arrogance. You can't do the only thing you have in life is your relationships and community. You need a community. That's a fact. Including those ones you consider toxic. When you feed or you mirror them, you know what not to do. You build yourself, learning how to interact with them. Some of them will observe the way you conduct yourself and they will be inspired to do better. But what do? You say, hey me, I can't deal with those ones. I want more out on you. They can separate Arami. You know, she parts I want, you know. Yeah, I don't deal with those such people. You know. That's you. You're the toxic.
People, distance yourself from the Nigerian community.
See,
your family,
let me tell you something.
This guy lost his family. I will bet my monthly livelihood on it. That's what. See, if your marriage, at least it's chopped breakfast. Maybe he's still with his family. Maybe. But this guy, I know they enjoy family. That's all I'm hearing. How, Wala, but he didn't say that. I know. I'm patient. I'm just saying on my own show, right? Later on, you will see what I am saying, okay? Now that you know what I say about it, you will start paying attention. You start seeing it everywhere. They are the worst generalizers that you would know because they can't see past it. It was that painful. They can't see past it.
Especially if you have a family.
Let me tell you something.
If you have your family,
it's not
keep them
just
up.
It's not just
That
the
doesn't mean you
Nigerian
don't attend church or things like that.
It is. I'm partly Ghanaian too. Yeah.
Let me guess. It's only Nigerians and Ghanaians. She said it's not just Nigerians. It's only Nigeria. At least we're expanding it small. Let's keep going.
It's not just the Nigerian community, the Ghanaian community. Sometimes the Ghanaian community.
That's
too. Do you understand? you need to distance yourself away from these people because they give you all sorts of silly advices. You understand? I don't even listen to anybody because I don't. My face is not even down for anybody, and I don't live anywhere close to them. If you,
She just spoke Yoruba English. My face is not down for anybody. What's that in Yoruba? Ojumio, how do you say that? Right? But it's Nigerian English, basically. My face is not down. Basically, she's just, I don't see anybody. It's pride. It's pride. If it has to come out of your mouth, listen, we all move a certain way. Let's be honest, okay? If you feel like some people are not on your level, you don't want to interact at a certain level of interaction, I can respect that. But for it to come out of your mouth is not good, oh. It's pride, oh. It will backfire. It will destroy your own relationship. It's showing in your own relationships in a way that you just can't see yet. Okay? Sometimes it could be like, oh, the family where I come from, we don't behave that way. Why are you're talking to your husband? Or you're talking to your wife? Pride is a bastard, the number one destroyer of relationships. Not infidelity, not finances, not irreconcilable differences. It's pride. And next to that is unrealistic expectations. Okay? I'm sharing the facts with you. Okay? If you're assessing things at the level of financial, she left me because of, and I went broke. That's the pride talking again. It's the pride. It's the same pride that got you there in the first place. Why is it now recorded at the courthouses that is pride? Well, your guess is as good as mine. They won't admit that it's pride. Even when they are filling out the paperwork for divorce. They won't admit that it's all realistic expectations. My expectations are my expectations. They are not all realistic. They are basically bare minimum. They won't admit it. So when they are filling out the paperwork, the one they use to collect data, they won't fill that out either. They will never admit it. Why? Because of pride itself. Pay attention. Let's keep going.
If you want to live where I live, then your brain must be working. You understand? In order to live where I live, you know. So in
order to live where I live, your brain must be working. Okay, let's hear the context.
I'm far away from them. But
far.
one other thing is that
far away from them, dirty people.
That sometimes that people have differences in their home. There is no home that does not have any
differences.
There is no home that does not have differences. But you know,
luxury, you're right. These are the same type of people that will start collecting. I don't want to shame anybody for that. God forbid something like that happen. But when something happens, they're the one that send out WhatsApp messages looking for donations. Your community is all you've got. Your relationships in particular. And how do you nurture it? With your mouth running this way. People are not perfect. I'm not saying people are perfect. Everyone don't speak English at the same level you speak English. Everybody has not been in America for 19 years. Some of them just came yesterday and they're looking for papers. Because you've never had to do papers in that way, you're looking down on people that have to share way. Your mouth will run you to a hole. Pride is a bastard. Pride destroys everything. This type of pride, the one that's coming out of your mouth without no control at all. On a public platform with hundreds upon thousands of people watching. This is just sad. You see, that's why I couldn't hold on to it. I had to share this because the way I felt is I was like, listen, you can feel a certain way that you're better. I get that. It's a feeling. You feel like you don't want to operate at that level. But running your mouth is another thing entirely.
It's best for you to get used to not reporting your husband to people and not reporting your wife to people.
Okay, then let's talk about that.
You don't report your husband or your wife to people. Even in Nigeria, you don't carry your problem to your mother-in-law and you don't carry your problem to your mother. They will
absolutely
never, because everybody will be biased. You understand? So it's best that the both of you sit down.
You are telling people that if they have problems in their marriages, they do not seek their parents' advice.
No.
That's not a wholesome advice either. Okay, I would say be careful. You just need to assess your parents and see. I would say in a lot of cases, if it's like bad, like damages all over the place, it's just toxic. Seek professional help. But if you have something you're trying to get your husband to see from your point of view, and you said you spoke to a family member and said, this is what I'm trying to see, he doesn't understand what I'm trying to say. If it's at the mild level, there's nothing wrong with seeking advice, you know, depending on what type of people you're talking to, not people that already have a bias against your clear, obvious bias. Because some of you will go and ask advice from people you know will take sides with you already. Then you're looking for trouble. You're looking to break your home, right? And there are certain levels. If it's just bad, like extremely bad, you're better off seeking professional help. And start with self. Again, start with self. You don't have to drag your partner to counselor and then come back and use that on resentment and say, I asked for counseling and he never, and then the resentment 5 years later, right? You need to take, if you're finding yourself in a situation that's bad in your marriage, you need individual counseling first. You need individual therapy, coaching. You need to take it individually first. If you're looking to drag each other there, you're looking for someone to help you blame your partner. The same issues, it's the same issues, pride. It's the same issue. But Patrick says, I'm a community leader, had a share of its toxicity. There's no, if you're a community leader, you know that it's just what it is. It's people. It's called conflict. It is inevitable. It will happen, right? Even within two partners, right? It's called conflict. It's inevitable. That's one of your signals that you are both humans, okay? It doesn't mean I should discard the community and lump everybody together. Could make sense now. I mean, I guess it makes sense to them, but Ghanaian community sees you lie. Ghanaians stick together and buy houses in the same area so they can help each other. That's generalization too. Not too. That is generalization too. Either you're speaking for positive or negative, because now it becomes a measurement of Ghanaians against Nigerians, and a Nigerian that have self-identity crisis that sees that, it's like, let me go and try the other side. The grass is greener on the other side. If it seems greener on the other side, that particular small community, not Ghanaian, that one that you've been previewed to, they just happen to water their own grass. That's all that is. Right? Yeah, bringing things down to individual level, which is a unit of the community, it's a difficult task. I get it. Because our experience is literally, it's what forms our mindset. Okay. Did I just move it?
No Nigerian, you can.
I moved it. Let's go.
Friends who trooping in. You don't carry your problem to your mother-in-law, and you don't carry your problem to your mother. They will
Absolutely
never, because everybody will be biased. You understand? So
thank you, Eunice.
The both of you sit
down. You are telling people that if they have problems in their marriages, they do not seek their parents' advice.
No. It is best. I'm not saying that you should not seek your parents' advice, but it is best to keep it.
No, Bon, you're right. you're right. You're not wrong, but you're right. You know, you're right. I've noticed that myself. You know, you're not wrong. You know. You're not wrong. I don't think these people talking are wrong either. It's just that they lack emotional intelligence at a very gross level, you know.
It's within between you and your husband, because there are biases. Do you understand me? When you go,
not
you understand when you go,
I don't want to laugh.
Your husband to his mom, or your husband goes to start reporting you to your mom. Or you start reporting your husband to your sister, they will start having, you understand, biases against the other party. You understand? So it is best for the both of you to sit down as human beings and talk it out. And if it's not working between the both of you, it's fine. But a situation whereby having friends who trooping in and out of your house, like as if your house is a restaurant that you open, it's just wrong.
No, sometimes.
Now, she just spoke her personal experience. I don't think people should be trooping in and out of your house. I don't think so too. But I also know that I didn't marry a person that would attract a lot of people like that. If you married a person that's a people person and people tend to already go in and out of his or her house, well, typically not her house, but his house all the time, friends, they come and go, and then you marry them, and then you want to stop that. You're calling for resentments, okay?
He shock you.
That was their life for a reason, right? That was their life for a reason. That's something you need to learn how to adjust with, have a conversation around. If you like to slow it down, it's going to be a tough conversation. It is what it is, because that's what they were used to. But something attracted you to that lifestyle. People keep coming in and out before in the first place, or maybe you didn't know them well. Welcome to the real world, but it's going to be a conversation, a tough conversation at that, right? But you see how they're mixing all kind of different topics together. We go from blaming all of Nigerian communities to blaming the pastors. This is confusion. To saying, oh, you shouldn't tell your parents about your issues, which I agree with to a large extent, if you're talking about marriage. And now to people trooping in and out of the house. Which one is it? Let's keep going. They are looking for reasons why marriages in the Obodo is collapsing, all left and right. That's what they're looking for, right? Have you seen anybody say self? So far, okay, we've been analyzing this now for a little bit over an hour. I'm like 9 minutes deep into the video. Have you seen anybody say that? I'm sure there's a part I play. You know, people that call into a show, shout out to, was it Bon Chance? No, they never call into the show and say, I was responsible too. Some of you that are on this panel, you were responsible. What part were you? That conversation will be like, when. It's boring. It's not entertaining because we're not pointing fingers, right? Everybody will even leave the chat once you start talking about self-accountability. The only time it's popular is when you're talking about holding anything but self-accountable. That's when it's popular. Have you noticed that? Let's keep going.
It's not about trooping in and out. What happens is this.
What is going on here?
Community of friends that you hang around with. A man's house is on fire. He's out there with those groups, those gangs. You check those gangs. You see that they have issues in one. I mean, look, it takes somebody who has some. It takes a happy person to make you happy. Anyone who is not a happy person, you can't be happy near a happy person. It takes you can't be happy around a bitter person. Okay? Now, you have something going on in your home, for example, and then you just, leave the house because you're trying to cool off, and then you go and miss yourself in a group of people that don't have this, they have the same thing going on with them. Maybe they're not away from theirs. What kind of advice are you seeking from them? They're not going to give you, they're not going to tell you something meaningful. Yep. They will still mislead you. So how about you go to people who are happy? People who can tell you, okay, this is if you must go to somebody.
We're getting something decent.
Who can be honest with you and tell you, okay, you have to go back home. When I was dating this guy, and it's like that thing.
Abby,
this friend
Eunice
was just alone. He didn't have a girlfriend. In fact, his wife left him with the kids and stuff like that. He will always go to him. Most nights when he is like, if he needs to leave, he just look for any slight reason just to run out. You are a married man, 2 a.m. every day. You're out there hanging around lounges with your friend. And
the brother has escaped to
House of Gold got me a shuttle. I've never had a shuttle.
Thank you for correcting me.
Talking about particularly worried. So if I lived abroad, it would be wrong for me to mingle with the Nigerian community because they could actually put me inside a lot of trouble with my home.
Daddy Freeze is extremely good at this. He's not having an opinion, and this is the best part about his show. He's not having. He's asking them so that they can dig even deeper hole for themselves. Right? Watch them take the bait. Just watch.
Wow.
You have.
Thank you, Miss. She said.
You have. You there's this Yoruba proverb that they say tobaba ajari.
And to Baba Aguton to Baba Jari.
Thank you for correcting me. So that
Aguton to Baba Jari Ajegbe. Any sheep that rolls with the dog will end up eating poop. Okay. Somebody's like, wait, dogs eat poop? Oh yeah. Certain types of dog where we're from will eat poop. So if a sheep is hanging around a dog, will eat poop, essentially. That's what the proverb is, right? Who is the dog? Nigerian community? What is she talking about? Let's see what she's talking about, right?
Freeze, you make your friends, but I mean, just keep anything family-related issue away from it. Like, I go for functions, Nigerian, functions once in a while. But I live far away from everyone. And
once in a while, that's to say, once in a while, I still end up in their party. Once in a while, end up in their party. Every now and then, Sha. Okay. Anti-bourgeoisie. Let's keep going.
The reason why I chose to live far away from everyone is because I am a woman. It's easy for me to go to the store. There's no time I step out there that I don't get people admiring me. So how many of them am I going to say no to? I'm going to come across people that are nice. I'm going to come across people that may be of help to me in one form or another. Before you know it, I start counting senses. I get to know a lot of them. And that's not what I want. If I were a man, I can stay there and mind my business. I mean, I would be the one to approach a woman. But I'm a woman. So the reverse is the case.
So they're saying they don't stay in the hood. Okay. Yes, because most Nigerians in the abroad stay in the hood. So you don't stay in the hood. What does this have to do with Nigerians again? Right? You don't stay in the hood, you don't stay in the hood. But again, they're running their mouth. Right? She lives in a white neighborhood. So now she feels special. Yeah, we don't deal with this one. I don't go there. Most of the Nigerian churches are also in the hood. Right?
So it's okay to attend functions if you're invited based on people you know.
It's okay now, suddenly.
Not dining and, throwing yourself in them, because to be honest with you, they're no good. Their mind, they are full of competition. It's all about competition. It's all about advice. They like to mistake. The funny thing is they won't even see a good opportunity and let you know about it. They barely tell you what to do to succeed. It's all about competition amongst themselves.
Number one, what is wrong with competition? I don't know what's wrong with competition. If you are a player, if you're a good player, there's nothing wrong with competition. Number two, what is this obsession with? They have to tell you things that they are doing so they can listen. They're probably still trying to figure it out too, right? This is confusion.
Really, it's not a good place, because what do you gain?
Yeah, what do you gain? What do you gain from community?
Jealousy before. If you're a man and you've experienced this level of jealousy,
they will call in. Don't worry, they will call in.
Bring you live, but just first.
Wait.
In Nigeria, it's different. Abroad, people are worried. You see, everybody's competing with everybody else. So instead of them sharing good advice with you,
look at what Daddy Freeze just said. Everybody is competing with everybody else. Tell me in what community that's not the reality. I beg, please tell me in what community that's simply not the reality. What is this? What is this obsession with everybody's competing with each other? Tell me something new, because that's reality in every community. People are supposed to compete. When they can help, it's because they're still competing with you, by the way. When they're contributing into your life, it's because they still get something from contributing to you. So what were we talking about exactly? Oli Mary says, I think the lady has a point, Mr. Ola. Please do share. I would like to see other perspectives. Please do share. Thank you.
You are surrounding yourself by people you think are your friends, but are nothing but parasites and vampires.
Did you hear that?
So
Parasites and vampires.
But I want to see if they're men. Okay. The DJ Smooth Paradox. Okay. I've sent you a request. Said now, strangers abroad go help you pass. Razak, let me also see if I can invite you.
Now strangers abroad go help you pass. There are certain experiences I've had personally that will make me feel that way. Okay. My first business that I built, that I became extremely successful with, about 95% of my clients were not Nigerians. Okay. As a matter of fact, that business collapsed with the recession in 2008. And it was the Nigerians that found out about what I did, which is extremely valuable to them. They found out like, wait, you've been doing this? You could help us with this? I was like, yeah. You know, word of mouth kind of got to them, and then they, you know. But the truth is that, but for me to now walk around and say, oh yeah, the Nigerians don't support. If they find out about your business, they will want to compete. Are you sure that's your calling? Because why are you obsessed about people competing with you in something that you do well? If you do it well, this do I sound kumbaya? Ojú ọ̀run tẹ́yẹ fò láì farakanra kẹ́. Like, now I've had experiences then where Nigerians helped each other. It's the IT world. The IT world that became extremely popular back in 2008 into 2009 was literally Nigerians helping each other. Literally took over the industry and dominated the whole thing. Right? That's another type of experience. So now imagine me walking around saying Nigerians always help each other. Like, that's not necessarily true either. It comes down to individual by individual. Share the experience, but please, this gross level of generalizations, it doesn't help you. It doesn't, listen, you're not hurting anybody, you're hurting yourself. Because it's going to create the way you think about life. Okay? It's crazy. Let's keep going.
Maybe you remove me
my
so
darling
someone else can come in.
Samaria, thank you
Only
so
Mary,
much.
share with me the specifics that you agree with what she's saying. Because I also think they're not wrong. It's the generalization. Generalization doesn't mean you're wrong. You're speaking from experience, right? So that's what I'm trying to highlight. I want to highlight, if there's any specifics that I'm missing, I would like to highlight it. Let's keep going. Shout out to you, Mo Fresh, Uchena Afana. How you there? Let's keep going.
So let me bring Razak. Okay, let me see if Samaria truly left.
Now, I do prejudge too. Okay, I generalize too. So, listen, permit me. Okay, permit me to act like a human being, like the rest of us, for a second. This gentleman that just came on this screen, if I were to prejudge him, right? What I'm looking at, you know, right now, he does not want to be associated with Nigerians, okay? But I'm prejudging it. At least I can admit that I'm prejudging and I'm generalizing. I could be wrong. There are people that look like him too, right? But when you had together, just looking at him right now, together with the fact that he's calling into this show, you have something coming for you. Let's keep going.
Because sometimes you think they left, but Instagram will still be holding them back. Samaria, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, yes, did leave. So let me send that message. You know, there's one thing I always tell my wife. I'm like, I don't like crowd around myself. So I didn't even know that serious problem abroad.
Yeah, my husband said.
Okay, see what Daddy Freeze just said. I don't like crowd around myself. I don't either. That's a completely different conversation, right? I don't like crowd around myself. If my wife suddenly, not like she wasn't like that before, if she suddenly starts to have a bunch of crowd around her, certain types of people, my radars will get up a little bit just to make sure, part of my natural instinct to protect her, because she might not see what I could see, right? But in that case, I still don't prejudge and say, you don't want those kind of friends. You know, like, I will just pay attention just in case she might need, particularly from the standpoint of she might need my support. Okay, from that standpoint, right? Just paying attention, right? And it's happened before. Okay, it's happened before earlier in our marriage where I actually overreacted. It doesn't work well. It doesn't work out well. You just be the enemy. You're just like, why are you jealous? What is, you're just controlling. That's what it's going to become. Okay, but that same behavior shows up in other aspects of life. You're not able to just calm down and say, hey, I know that these people move a certain type of way, but let me calm down. Let me just pay attention. Just in case I'm wrong. I could be wrong, right? Excuse me. Holy Mary, shout out to your name, Holy Mary. She said, the information part is true. I lived in the UK for almost 9 years, struggling with one of my kids who has got special needs. The Nigerians around me didn't give me any information and how to find assistance. I'm sorry you went through that. I'm sorry, but I don't have enough information. I don't have enough information to castigate the Nigerian communities from that, right? But shout out to you saying the Nigerians around you, right? And if we're going to assess this objectively, we'll be like, did you ask them for help? And then you found out they know and they deliberately hurt you. If you say yes, is that possible? Yes, that's possible. But we have to bring it down to those individuals, basically, for being evil. And I know evil people exist, particularly, right? But, so like I said, these are their experiences. It's just the wrong part is saying Nigerian communities are like that. Like, no, it's false. Deleted on arrival. It's not true. It's just a lie. Okay? It's just a lie. At the end of the day, that's the best you can get out of that.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
It's a lie. Okay? Let's keep going.
Tells me the same thing too. You know, he does not like it. He does.
But what that guy, last caller, said, he said that avoid anywhere they are Nigerians, avoid your family abroad.
Daddy Priest is instigating.
All right.
I'm good, and you, Daddy Priest. This is the first time I've been on your page. I'm very happy. I'm super great.
I'm so
because I watch you almost.
Eunice, you see life.
Okay.
That's true.
So share your experiences, sir, because my battery is about to die, so I'm going to.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
I live in New York City for the past 26 years now.
Yes, Brother Patrick.
I and my wife and all my beautiful kids.
Wow. Sir, because my battery is about to die, so I'm going to.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
I live in New York City for the past 26 years now. I and my wife and all my beautiful kids.
Wow.
I don't have problems with anybody. I cruise with Nigerian community here. Even yesterday we celebrated Mother's Day together. We serve the ladies.
In fact, this celebration of Mother's Day in Nigerian churches, even that one, like, okay, why is all this retro? This is the kind of person I am, my personality, but I'm aware. But it's one of the best things about Nigerian communities. Just over celebrating to the point of, okay, Otito, right? My pastor still called my wife yesterday morning and was like, oh, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And, my personality is kind of like, I don't like too much noise too, right? We tend to become content creators, right? So, but to not appreciate where that's coming from is lack of emotional intelligence, right? To say, oh, because of my personality, don't like noise, so I feel like I'm better than those ones that like noise. It's just bad. I don't know any other way to say it. I'm trying to explain it. I don't know any other way to. It's just a bad place to come from. Okay, it's arrogance. It's just empty pride, like Natu said.
At our congregation, my focus here is my life first, my daily life, my work, my job, my money, my kids, my wife, and my kids are doing so great. They're doing seriously great.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's a good testimony. Holy Mary says, assistance, it was a lady from Greece whom I met at my local church who helped me and guided me how to get help. There's a lot there. What I've noticed is that a lot of times in the Nigerian community, a lot of people are trying to get by. A lot of people don't even have papers, and you won't know because maybe they have a little job here and there. You won't know they're actually trying, unless they share their own plight with you. You won't know. You know, one of the issues here, some of the things I teach here is to assume best case scenario, because your natural mind will assume worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario is that these people don't want you to succeed. That's the worst case scenario. They are all assumptions, but if you're going to make assumptions like normal human beings, like the rest of us, I think the effort you want to put into assume best case scenario, right? Assumption makes it by default you could be wrong, right? But at least your mindset is not moving in the negative aspect of things, right? Like the worst case scenario, like this. Because if you live in that space, you basically, there are times that you need to ask for help, like outrightly ask for help. But because you've assumed that Nigerians will not help you, you won't ask for help, right? But I'm telling you, right, that if you haven't outrightly asked for help and they say no, right? Yeah, nothing good is going to come from that generalization. Okay? Nothing good will come out of that generalization for you in particular, because remember, this is all assumptions. They don't even know how you feel inside, right? Is it possible that it's not even a possibility, there are Nigerians that don't want to help other Nigerians? That's a fact. This is not the argument. It's a fact that there are Nigerians that don't want to help other Nigerians. What I'm telling that is that most people making that assertion, they're just speaking from personal experience. They don't have enough information to make that assertion. It's just, it's toxic to say that. If you've had a few experiences, all you can have as an individual, and you just say all Nigerians are like that, you know? And also, a lot of other churches, maybe white churches or American churches, they tend to have resources in place, like departments that are designed, more structured, better structured. If we're talking about, maybe now they're getting better, Nigerian churches are getting better. Some of the Nigerian mega churches that are building their structure around that type of thing, they are better. They have resources you can call, they have things that they can help, you know. But maybe it has something to do with having a system in place. But I want you to assume that individuals, they have their own wahala they're dealing with. That's the best case. They have their own issues they're dealing with. They often look good. They put on makeup. They look better on the outside. But you have no idea what they're dealing with in their personal life. And that's the best case scenario that you can assume. So that if you need help, instead of assuming, just ask. Right? Ask. You know. But I'll tell you that if you go to those other churches where you're not really part of them, there's going to get to a point where they're going to show you that you're not part of them. There's going to be some things that will happen, and they will tell you in one shape, form, or the other that you're not really part of us. Eventually, it's going to happen too, right? Identity crisis. It's not stuff that people do from they don't necessarily do it from being intentional. It's something that comes from lack of emotional intelligence, right? You're just not aware, lack of self-awareness, okay? But this is what it looks like when it's toxic. It comes out in public and starts the messiah from a place of pride. Once you find your way outside of the hood, you're living 1 hour from the hood now, or you've been in America for more than 5 years, you're ready to tell everybody I've been in America for more than 5 years. Shout out to this Baba, at least he's saying something positive. Let's keep listening.
They're one of the most important kids all over the world. Then I thank God so much. I've been married almost 28 years now. I got joy. Even 2 years ago, my daughter finished Columbia University.
You can assume right now that as this Baba is talking, many people are leaving the room. It's too boring for them. He's speaking positive. It's too boring. They're leaving the room like, this one with his positive. They're not doing that like that, but they're like, no, tell us the juicy part. How Nigerians are toxic.
Of course, when people good or no good, it doesn't bother me. I know what I want. You have to have confidence in you before you're dealing with people. With that, you have no problem.
Okay. Can I come in?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. I stay in the UK, like you know, and let's not mix a whole lot of things up. If anybody doesn't want to hear the truth right now, they better just turn up.
The truth teller don't just enter the room. A bunch of more people are pinking themselves. Somebody's going to tell us the truth. Let's see what truth is going to tell us. The real truth. Yeah, violence is coming in right now, right? Say, let's tell ourselves the truth. This Baba is just capping big time. Baba, they're telling you, stop the cap, okay?
Stop the cap.
Stop painting this picture that your life is perfect. Stop it. Stop it. Let's go. The truth teller is about to tell us. Let's hear it.
Right? Because I'm about to give it raw. A few things they said about the Nigerian community. That is partly correct. But the problem is not the Nigerian community. It's about the individuals and what they choose to do and how they choose to behave.
He surprised me. Check that out. He surprised me. Okay, so far he surprised me. But there's a red flag when he said, I want to tell the truth. That is a red flag for me typically. Let's keep going.
I'm a DJ. I play in a lot of parties, Nigerian parties most especially. And I see a lot of things that go on. So that aside, let's not float that issue about mixing up. It's okay to mix up with your people. It's okay. There's nothing bad.
Wow.
You're just going to have to learn how to control what...
I prejudged him. You see, assumptions are bad. Gentlemen, it's actually worse for you when you have a tendency to assume. You're giving away your power. You will self-destruct when you assume. Okay? Listen, you will prejudge inside. You're a human being. You judge based off of what you see, your experience, all this kind of stuff. I just showed you an example. I was being real. I really thought it was going to come and agree with all the toxic stuff. Right? But just so far. Let's not... Come on, my bae. Just so far, right? Mr. Ola, do you know one of the people that I asked was a lawyer? She had her papers, her kids, husbands, every one of them had papers, but she said to me she knew nothing. It's very possible that she knew nothing. I was born here in the United States, okay? If you ask me about immigration stuff, I'm the worst guy to ask. I have no experience. I don't know how it works. Now, I might be humble enough to say, hey, I know somebody you should ask. But the best people to ask are people that have gone through situations, right? People that came here with green card, they won lottery. They are the worst to ask. They don't know anything. It was handed to them almost like on a silver platter. They don't know anything. They are the worst. Again, thanks for sharing more, right? But because people have papers does not mean that they have all... Because somebody is a lawyer, right, does not mean that they're able to... Hold on one second, let me... Because somebody is a lawyer does not mean they know... Because they're a divorce lawyer does not mean they know how marriages work. You get it? They are some of the worst people you want to go to for marriage advice. Because all they see is the negative, because for obvious reasons. That's they're dealing with it at professional level. The people that come to them at professional level are mostly the extreme of worst situation. The best they can teach you is defense. Right? Because that's all they see. How to defend yourself. You know? So, Chi, I see you. How far? How you did? Not real emergency, though. Let's go on.
You do what you say and where you go. I don't see the Asians having this problem. I don't see the Indians or the Pakistanis having this problem of socializing with their likes. That aside. Now, the issue with marriages breaking, I have experience of marriage breakup after 2 years.
Okay.
A lady that I dated for years in Nigeria, and I brought her here. And after 2 years, we were...
it was over.
It just went south quickly too. But it wasn't because she wasn't a good person. It was because she chose the path of whatever it is that she chose to do. I could not have called myself a saint then, because I was probably just struggling myself.
Wow, that's a big deal. What he just said is a big deal, right? He's retaining his power. For whatever reason, she moved on. It is what it is. Life happens. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Gentlemen, you especially those of you that call yourself red pill, you're supposed to see reality for what it is and not create fantasies. But there's a struggle there. Let me create fantasies by blaming everything else. Right? The events in particular, not predicting the future, not prejudging the future. The events that has happened to you happened. It is what it is. Right? Let me learn from it. How are you going to learn from it if you don't assess self? How? Right? If it's just everybody else's fault but self, how are you going to learn from it?
How, Sway?
So the issues, let's not mix them up. Individual problems can make somebody choose not to be who they were. So people change. And the transformation within us as Nigerians is a lot more. So it's making the right.
Send me a request. Let me bring you back. For Lighton, send me a request. Let me bring you back. I don't know what happened. I lost you for one reason or the other. For Lighton, send me a request. Let me bring you back.
So the women, you had some women on earlier. They can actually speak on their situation and their
experience. This guy is surprising
we also
me.
have other experiences. Women,
listen. This is why I don't like to generalize, because off of my own experience and what I've observed, it tends to be like everybody that's gone through bad situation wants to generalize. But because I know better, I know that I'm a human being like everybody else. I refuse. I push against myself to generalize. I do generalize. I do. But there's certain delicacies you're like, wait, slow down. That's that situation. That's that situation. I still generalize. I just don't run my mouth until I've heard a little bit more. I need to tell me more. Like Holy Mary is telling me a little bit more. She said, it was not until when I knew how things worked, I then started to question myself. How can one be a lawyer in the UK and don't have info about how to get support? Lawyers have personal issues. Lawyers have limited resources in terms of time, energy. Maybe you caught them at the wrong moment. If you pay them, there's even if you pay them, there's limitations to how much they can help. In addition to the fact that lawyers can be immigration lawyer, can be child services lawyer, can be divorce lawyers. There's like about 50,000 different types of lawyers. They don't know everything, right? Yeah, I said 50,000. You see, I just generalized. I do it too. Whatever. But you know what I mean when I say 50,000, right? Come on, like you're not that, right? Right? You get the gist? So everything all the way from personal issues, like I don't have the answer. Try to talk to this person, or they don't have the patience to deal with you if you're not paying them, right? Why should they pay you before you can help? Well, it just depends. Everyone that helps you, even when they are not being paid, are getting something from it. It could be a sense of contribution. It's still something they're getting from it at an emotional level. Okay? Everybody only cares about their feelings, just like you. They don't care about anything outside of their feelings. All right? And that's often a temporary thing. Tomorrow, you might ask them and they're in a better spirit to help you. Some of them are just straight evil. They don't help anybody. They are in every community around the world. Nigerians, Judaism, Christianity, Islam people. They're in every Americans. They're in every community. They're just straight evil. Let's continue. This guy is speaking.
Nigerian women, I vowed not to date a Nigerian again, ever again.
He vowed.
I did. I vowed.
Why?
Marriage was. Why? Because. Sorry?
What made you take such a vow?
Well, because Nigerian women seem to be a little bit more too smart for me. Let me put it like that.
Wow.
They're always coming to me
too
with
smart.
an agenda.
Oh, wow.
So more of the Southern Africans, because they're a little bit more loyal, you know, the Sierra Leoneans. Having said that, though, I ended up marrying a Nigerian again, but
because it's your shadow. He ended up marrying a Nigerian again. What happened? Let him tell us.
It was a different kind of circumstance, you see. But for a very long time, for about 10 years, I would not date a Nigerian. A
10 years.
Woman. Because of that mentality. They come with a very strong mentality, aggressive mentality as well.
Jesus.
Continue.
You say so, that's why. So for those that
Now collect like this. In the middle of the afternoon, not afternoon yet, early momo. When I don't collect, ha! Who my shield? Jesus. Tiye. Ah! This guy, he just did. Early morning, emergency. Jesus.
Men, I know some men are a bit, cultural or traditional.
Back for you, sir. I will call you. I'm live, and you are disrupting my life.
Jesus.
If I have any feedback at all, I will be the one to call you. I don't take. I charge people to talk.
Even caller go collect.
Talk. I can respond to 20 text messages. So text. If I have any need to call.
Send text now.
Oh my days,
why are you bothering Daddy Freeze? Jesus Christ.
Calling me, asking me for a favor, and then you are burning up my phone. And then at the end of the day,
Daddy Freeze gone too. Don't vex.
Once a call comes in, it disrupts all the.
He don't vex too.
Working at the same time.
Let's continue the conversation now. Wala. Let's continue.
That wants to do the thing for you.
Come on now, Freeze. Otito.
Please, if you're watching on TikTok, big shout out to everybody on TikTok. Thank you so much. Special request to everyone who.
All right, let me see what while he's talking. Left and right, left and right. This guy said it's individual to individual. He made sense earlier, but he's going somewhere, and I want to hear this one. A real awkward. If you find me a sound effect awkward, I'll use it too. But it won't sound as sweet. It won't sound as sweet. It won't sound as sweet. Let's see. Obodo, I've seen wonders. Sorry, I know it's early morning. I didn't mean to bring this. I'm watching it with you live, by the way. I only watched the first 3 minutes. Right now we're 23 minutes in. Shout out to Daddy Freeze, by the way, for this content. This is original content. Fair use guidelines. Fair use. All right. They brought another brother to the screen. Okay, they brought another brother to the screen. So, yeah. All this early morning tea is good. Now, for people who know they work, I know, but there seems to be a lot of them. Maybe this wasn't a bad idea after all. But good one. Let's see. Somebody's talking now.
Should be stayed away from abroad.
Don't try to say all those other things. So hello, my brother.
Hello, Dr. Freeze. Sorry. So this is my 2 cents, right? I listened to the ladies earlier, and the way that the Freeze phrased the statement, saying that he's really alarmed about the fact that he's hearing that Nigerians should be stayed away from abroad. To tell you the truth, I've never had this experience most people are talking about. And it's kind of
a real Okuni is talking.
See the negative about ourselves real quickly. And
Kilo Day, Nigerians, you can do better now.
I've lived in Georgia. I'm currently in Texas, and I've always been in the presence of Nigerians.
It's your friends, it's your circle.
What I notice about us is when we're abroad, we tend not to see race, culture, religion. Everybody's pretty much united. It's one thing I notice. I could be in the presence of an Igbo person, an Hausa person, a Yoruba person, and we're all cool.
The fact that you're secluding yourself and you're saying, me, I don't hang out with those people, you are the problem. There's something extremely bad about you. I understand it's not the accent. You have better accent. It's not your neighborhood you live in. You've moved to the white neighborhood. I get that. It's not that, okay? Maybe you're even doing better. You make 6 figures. You're a good nurse and you take care of yourself and all that kind of stuff. But you are the problem, if you are the only one among Nigerian community and you're seeing things this way. This is you. This is pride. It's pride. It's pride. Shout out to this brother. Jesus Christ.
Like that. When it comes to marriages, I don't think it's fair for us to impose people's failures in their marriages on the community.
Jesus.
Like the lady said earlier that if you go tell your marriage issues to somebody, why are you doing that in the first place?
Only Mary is Mongo Park issues. You're right.
Question. Like, don't do that. Because if you ask for something, you're going to get something in return.
Exactly.
Right? And there's a statement in Yoruba that
yes! Yeah. Oh my God! Let me do conversion. Who can help me? Or contact? Is it conversion or translation? Jesus Christ! Gbogbo alangba lo danu bole all reptiles, they lay on their stomach. You don't know which one is hurting in their stomach. You don't know which one is having a stomach ache. All reptiles, right? Reptiles, they move. Did I interpret well? Oh, well, alangba is more like lizard, alligator, omolile, all these different things that basically crawl on their stomach. They all lie flat on their stomach. You don't know which one has stomach ache. You can't use human experience. When a human being is lying on their stomach and do like this, you kind of like, are you okay? You have stomach ache, right? You can't use that to come and judge reptiles. All of them lie on their stomach. You don't know which one has stomach ache. You don't know what people are going through. I don't care if they make 6 figures, $300,000 a month. I don't care how much money they make. You have no idea. You have no idea what they're going through. Right? Right? If you have an issue with a community, it's you. If you tend to take one community, any community in the world, and you put them in a box, and you have all types of negative things to say about them, it's you. It's you. You're not that special. You're special in a different type of way, but you're not that special. Let's continue.
Are you getting my point? So if you are of the kind of nature of always spilling out personal information, people are going to tell you all kinds of things from their own understanding of life. And their understanding might be skewed, right?
It's skewed.
That out of the honesty of their heart, because that's what they believe. And it might not be what is necessarily good for you. So I don't think it's a Nigerian community thing, because I will tell you the truth. The best experience I've had in the US has been amongst Nigerians. Right?
It's because of you, brother. It's because of who you are. It's because you've had the best experience because of who you are as a person. People, regardless of where they are from, they like how you make them feel around them. Nigerians or not, but obviously you gravitate towards Nigeria because that's your identity, right? So, general, even you are benefiting from them, right? Because you have better accent. You move 1 hour away. Now you think you're better. Right? Now you think you are better. Because you've gone through divorce and you happen to be in the Nigerian community. She has a few friends in Nigerian communities. It's because of all the friends she was carrying. It's the fault of the Nigerian community that your marriage was ended. Are you serious? Like, are you... Like, what? That's it? That's all you can come up with? Let's say you're correct, you're right. But is that all? Is there anything else you can tell us about what happened in that marriage?
My first house that I bought, right, it was from a Nigerian realtor. My first house that I bought, right?
From a Nigerian realtor?
The first car I ever owned was co-signed for me by a Nigerian.
You know, there are Nigerians that will say, no, I don't want a Nigerian realtor. Do you know that? There are. And listen, there's nothing wrong with your choices, your preferences in that respect, maybe because of your experiences. But for you to jump on the internet and be running your mouth as a thing, as a rule of law, no, you're the problem. That's giving all types of pride. Bad behavior altogether. Lack of emotional intelligence, right? You're socially awkward. It's weird. Just so you know, this is why you will continue to create bad results. It just will look different. Once you move away 1 hour away from the hood, it will look different, but you will create the same results because your shadow is your shadow. It follows you everywhere you go, and there's always a light shining on you. You can't escape yourself. It is what it is.
A woman in my church, right? She helped me co-sign it. So I've had good experiences being around Nigerians. Right? I just don't want us to label the Nigerian community.
Somebody's going to say this is the exception.
Toxic.
No. They are going to say it's the exception.
That gentleman, the way he spoke from a place of personal hurt. That's why I talked about wanting to drop names. So somebody might have hurt him personally. That has nothing to do with the Nigerian community. I promise you.
It's you.
I used to belong to the Nigerian community, the Colorado Springs Nigerian community. We had a whole association. We used to do food drives. We go out to the soup kitchen. We give out stuff. It's really fun to be around them, right? We have end of year celebrations. We do Christmas parties, all that stuff. It's fun to be around them. Now, when it comes to marital issues, I believe it's a personal thing to the marriage. That's not to do with the community because you could be anywhere. Anyone can give any kind of advice.
You are the same person in the marriage that ended. You could be in Australia all by yourself, in the middle of the wood in Australia. Your marriage would have ended because it's you. It's you. It's not. I'm not blaming you. I'm saying it's your point of leverage, so you don't repeat the same thing. Your point of leverage is not blaming external factors ever, never. You can't control them, so why would you give them the credit of blame? Blame is a credit. You're giving it away. You're giving away your joy, your chances of creating joy by giving away your problems. Shout out to you, Verona. Verona says if they are going through depression over, why are they saying that they are better than those of us in Italy, Spain, France, and other European countries? Oh, I must have missed something you were saying earlier. I'm not sure. D, how far? Welcome. I am well respected at my work. The world sees Nigerians as smart people. Thank you, sir. If you have issues, please get a tissue. Yeah, so that rhymes so well. Please don't throw all of us under the bus. It makes no sense. Nigerian community is the reason I am why I have never been homeless. Nigerian community is the reason why I am still married. So stop the cap. That's good word, Natu. That's good word. Yep. Nigerian community is the reason why I never collected food stamps or an unemployment benefits. Stop the cap. These are good experiences. More than enough people out there, right? Oh Lord, thank you, D. I appreciate you, D. The funny thing is that he ended up with a Nigerian wife again. You know that brother. Hopefully, we'll talk again. Let's see. You can't run away from his shadow, Ni. No, you can't run away from your own shadow.
Look at your own personality, your own
look at
yourself,
your own
yourself, right? And you know how they say misery loves company, right?
Yep.
So what you're
misery loves
like
company.
People that have similar things, and they just band together and they just say all kinds of things to suit or appease themselves, and they carry that into their marriages. So I won't advise anybody to distance themselves from a Nigerian community because it can be very lonely abroad. Can be very lonely.
Yeah.
And the Western culture is a culture of mind your own business.
Have you noticed that Alfred started eating? It's not doing. Right? It's not doing that now. He's like eating now. It's like, because it's like, okay, let's balance it out. He's going to look for a way to instigate again. Because the truth will come out. Gracious greatness. How far? Shout out to you for that $2 sticker you put yesterday. Thank you so much, bro. Let's keep going.
So you can literally be in a city for a whole year plus and not have friends. And your next door neighbor, you probably have never spoken to each other before.
For years.
The first time I spoke to my neighbor in a year was when his dog came through the fence into my compound. That was the first time we ever spoke. He's a white man. that is the way they live.
Yeah, so nobody's judging if you move to a better neighborhood. It's your mouth that we're checking today. Your mouth thinking you're better because you moved from the hood. It's good for you, okay? And that's not an indication that you're better by any stretch. It just means, you know, you did well for yourself. I don't want to take that away from yourself, but be careful when you're running your mouth against the whole community. You might not see it now. It's going to come back and bite you in the butt. Because that same community will be the one to stand for you if something negative happens. Okay?
Right? And if you're a Nigerian and we associate, right? Who is the best?
Now I get it, Verona. Thank you.
I get to my point. So I tend to like dissociate myself with this ideology of avoid Nigerians. Because if you do avoid Nigerians, who are you going to associate with?
Who are you? Even this question, avoid Nigerians. If you're a Nigerian, who are you? What happened to your identity? Why are you struggling with your identity? Right? Why are you struggling with your identity? But you probably didn't understand the question either because you're suffering from social awkwardness. You can't see it. All you can see is your experience. Weirdos everywhere.
Yeah. DJ Smooth Paradox, let me hear you.
Okay, so I partly agree with my brother here, but I don't fully agree. There are a lot of Nigerians that I have associated with.
Now it's making me look at him sideways. He said some really wise things earlier, but now I start to look at him sideways. Well, I started looking at him sideways when he said, when he basically said all Nigerian women for 10 years of his life. 10 years is a long time. And then he ended up marrying in Nigeria. I doubt if that mindset completely escaped him, right? Now, what did this brother say that anybody with any level of social, emotional intelligence, right, self-awareness, what did he say? This brother in the purple background, what did he say that anybody could disagree with? What did he say that anyone could possibly disagree with? I'm all ears. I want to know if you disagree with that brother with the pink background. What did he say that anybody could disagree with? I'm wondering what it could be ahead of time. I'm wondering what could it possibly be that you disagree with? I don't want to generalize. I don't want to prejudge. Let me hear him, like, so I don't make the same mistake I made earlier. Maybe there's something he's seeing that I don't see. Verna says when they bring their wives or husbands abroad, in attempt to use them as their slaves, they end up divorced and blame others. I mean, he said something that made sense at the beginning, but he said, I feel like they're too smart for me. What is too smart for me? I wonder what that is. What is too smart for me? I'm wondering, what could that be? Too smart for me. Let's continue. Oh, Jesus.
Associated with, and they have been toxic. And in the same vein, there has been some Nigerians that are exceptional, but you would always speak from your experiences or that which you
He's
have
correct
seen.
About that.
So you can't assume. So I'm not going to assume that every Nigerian community will be bad, but I can tell you for a fact that a lot of them are toxic. Yeah.
But what's new? Didn't he say? Oh, he didn't say the part that he didn't acknowledge that people are toxic in the Nigerian community like everybody else. Is that all he disagreed with? Let's keep going. But before we continue, wait, hold on. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Brother Patrick. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You know what time it is. Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate you. Yeah, what did he say that he disagreed with? Nothing so far. Like, oh, there are definitely toxic people. Hey, you're telling us anything that's new. We don't know there are toxic people already, right? It's obvious there are toxic people. Some of them have been on this panel since we've been watching. What are you talking about? We know there's toxic people everywhere. We know this, right? We're talking about generalizing all of Nigerian community to be toxic because suddenly you think you're closer to white people. He just said he lives in the white neighborhood too, but he didn't have to run down the whole community. Let's keep going.
You know, I don't agree with the man earlier that said avoid them totally, but I do understand where he's coming from because, like I said, I mix up with a lot of Nigerians socially. I don't go hang out with them. We play at parties, you know, so we know each other, we know, but I don't go into their business and I don't give them that opportunity to come into my business. I don't do church anymore as well. I did that extensively and I got burned big time. Nigerian churches. So again, I don't want to associate myself with that kind of environment ever again. You see? And I would not let my child go through the same as well. I'm not saying everybody's bad.
I will not let my child go through that as well. Toxicity is in every community. Yvette, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Kemi says it probably takes a toxic person to recognize another toxic person. Yes, I've been noticing that, but they can say the same thing about me, and I don't think I'm toxic. So I will slow down on that, right? They're all in the same WhatsApp group. Anyway, you know what time it is. Thank you so much for that, Yvette. You know what time it is. Let's dance a little bit before we continue. Oh Lord. Verona says they all need counseling, brother. They need to change their mindset. That's why I think this is an emergency. And I think all of us have this type of mindset at very, very subtle levels. That's why I call it emergency, that we need to be checking. Like you might have find yourself with experiences that makes you think in certain direction this way. I want you to be aware that you're probably hurting yourself more so than you're helping anyone. Okay, I don't know why when someone recognizes a toxic person and still remain in that environment, that means you enjoy being around toxic people. This is not a Nigerian thing. It's the individual to individual thing. You engage toxic people, chances are something about you attracted them at a level where it's feeling that way, right? Listen, I'm not going to sit down. I go to Nigerian church. I see behaviors that I'm like, damn. Even with children, I'm like, that can be my child, right? Like that, and my children, they behave, they do like, but let me just stop there, right? But for me to now jump on the internet and this, I don't know, I just think it's dangerous. I could say things too that, you know, I'm checking myself right now, that just borderline prideful, you know. If you don't want to go to that church, don't go to that church. But to just say, just Nigerian churches are like, no, it speaks volume. It's about you. Ultimately, it's about you. Okay? Nigerian community here in Italy are doing great as we help those that may not be in their current senses. That's a good one. It's a personal experience. It's a good testimony at best. Some people are having a different experience, right? It sounds very bitter. Let's continue.
But I'm telling you that we as a people need to look at ourselves inwards and know that we have something in our head that isn't correct, that is just not right. And we need to have that mindset, reset, to help us in the future. Let's not try to paint anything good that is bad. Let's say it like it is. We got problems, you know, and the problems come from us.
No, you're contradicting yourself is the issue. Is it me or is contradicting himself? Right? There's a big issue here in what he's saying. And I know this kind of confusing. He want to, remember, he's the truth teller. He want to tell us the full truth and not sugarcoat it, right? He want to tell us the full truth and not sugarcoat it. I get it. I completely get it, right? There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But here's the issue. We're social beings, we're emotional beings, right? What you focus on expands. Literally. What you focus on expands. It's literally, it's a logical statement, because human beings are emotional and social beings. Okay? If you don't take your attention off of your negative experiences, they will expand. Not only will they expand in you, they will expand into other people that may be just too weak to see it. So no, it's not helpful, because you are a truth teller, to not pay attention to, wait, there's something about you that attracted your experiences. Those are your point of leverage right there. Okay, those are your point of leverage right there. He's contradicting himself. Everybody should focus on themselves, but we got problems. Who is we? You and who has problems? What are you talking about exactly? No, you got problem and you're trying to give that problem away, and that's part of your problems. In fact, that's your major problems. That's a major problem. Okay. Talk about Nigerian community. Big shout out and to be the convener of World Community who made Man of Prestige popular. She did. Shout out to her to be. I beg, not only Mumu they go Nigeria church. You see common sense. This is common sense. If you think you have common sense and that's all be all, and listen, first of all, you're right.
You're right.
We can't really argue that you're right or wrong. I think you're right. It's your experience, right? But this is where common sense ends up oftentimes. That's common sense for you right there. Because it's, how can you set yourself apart if all you've got is common sense? Everyone in this room thinks they have common sense. Every one of us, we think we have common sense. Exactly how are you special? Timmy. Tell me something special about you outside of a generalized 5-word sentence. You're not wrong. You're right.
You're right.
You know, we all have common sense. Every single one of us. What's special about you? Right? Have you noticed that in the last 60 seconds, I've focused on what you've had to say and it's literally expanding?
You are a mumu man. You think say they're wise?
What is special? Tell me a little bit more. Give me something that I can see that's unique. Remember, these gentlemen, both of them agreed that you have to bring things down to individual level. Exactly what experiences did you have with Nigerian churches? I'm not defending them. They have their flaws. But I want to know what's special. What is special?
Your daddy.
Your daddy.
Tell me what's special. I beg.
Will you keep quiet?
Beg. Let's continue, Jare.
From Nigeria,
Shout out
from
to you,
our
Timmy.
parents
Shout out
and
to
our
you.
grandparents, we have problems. And if we don't face those problems and actually try to renew our minds, we will continue to paint, like a whitewash.
Let me say something.
The true color is coming out. Nigerians have problems. No anywhere else in the world has problems. Stay in context. Nigeria does have problems, but let's stay in context. He's talking particularly about this issue we're talking about. We have problems, and he would like to shed some light on it. He's going to share with us. Trust me. Just have to wait long enough. He will tell us what his problems are. Not really Nigerian problems, just his own problems with Nigerians, right? His own self-identity. Let's continue.
Smooth paradox. I live in an estate in Lekki. There is a guy in my close. We live in an estate. My house is not fenced. I'm sure you've seen one or two videos of taste buds walking and me following her.
Yeah.
My estate is fenced, but my house is not fenced. Do you know I have a neighbor that I only greeted once, and I've lived here for 7 years? What happened that day? I have a convertible. And because convertibles have soft tops, if you park them under the shade, they tend to get moldy. So every week, like a relationship,
Thank you, Holy Mary.
I have to drive my convertible to a sunny spot. and
Listen, Holy Mary, listen. I didn't want to say it, you said it. That's what I saw first. But let's continue. Okay.
The convertible so that the interior can dry up so that there will be no mold.
Yeah.
So that particular day, where I usually park my car in the sun, some people had parked there, so I couldn't use that spot. So I parked in front of my neighbor's house. 2 hours later, when I felt that the car had collected enough sun, I went outside. I saw the guy had blocked me with his car. I knocked the door, telling him I'm so sorry I parked him. This was the only place I could get sun. Don't be angry. I don't know where the guy lives. I just know that once in a while he comes, once in a while he goes. The guy greeted her, came out, removed his car, removed my car, went to park. From that day till today, we have not spoken. Before that day, we have not spoken. So this whole idea of I don't talk to my neighbor. If you live in metropolitan Lagos, you will experience the exact
because
same
it's
thing
westernized.
you are talking about abroad. And in my honest opinion, it is a good thing and a bad thing.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you why.
Thank you.
It's a bad thing because likewise, I have two very close neighbors.
Hey, cool mama. Good to see you.
Quarrel about political parties, we gist, we have fun. We help each other. If I need something, I go to their house. If they need something, they feel free to come to my house. Do you understand? If I'm eating something like there was a time we all came together and killed a ram to celebrate election being over, even though we all disagreed on the outcome of the election. But we sat down and we killed a ram together. So yes, there's that community bonding. But you see, there's also the advantage of parents and in-laws and
you guys are making fun of this guy's bleaching cream. Stop the cap, Nigerian women. Allow me to generalize for a second. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
He's bleaching because of Una. Una no like him like that. Una like yellow purple now. I'll be a lie. Stop the cap. Isn't that how you like it? Fine boy, yellow purple. He's such a fine man. You know. Abi is just him thinking that way.
siblings, not just being able to barge into your house the way they do it in Nigeria. In Nigeria, I grew up with somebody, you hear a knock on the door, I open, I see one of your uncles, and he's going to stay for 4 months. And I didn't like it. There's too much invasion. I know a friend who was in her 30s, and her mother would just come and knock their door.
Wait. Daddy Free's talking too much. We need to get to the point where they are all talking. Yeah, thank you so much, bro. No, I appreciate you. I like my chocolate men, I beg. Most Nigerian women. Generalization. Most Nigerian women love light purple. Am I lying? Is that am I making that up? Right? I know there are women that love chocolate, but most Nigerian, maybe of a certain age bracket, yeah. But I think there was maybe it's just like most black people. There was a time that the yellow purple were the one reigning, you know. I think some people are just stuck in. Some men are stuck in that past, and cream is nobody's mate. Cream at the African store. They don't go to African store except to only go and buy a cream. There's only time they go to African stores to go and buy cream. That's the only time they patronize Nigerian women. The cream, online cream. They are shipping it these days too. Wahala. Even says na chocolate. Really? Are you all Gen Zs or something? What's going on here? Most Nigerian women I know actually prefer dark men. What? So we're making this up in our head? Nigerian men don't collect. I think it's the weirdest things whenever I see, once in a while when I see men using bleaching cream, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what happened? See, that's my experience talking RB. Exactly, just like me now. I'm probably gonna have to catch the full context of this convo on the replay. I'm confused about what's happening. Oh, you will. We're just talking. Let me bring us up to speed a little bit. They were generalizing all of Nigerians, communities abroad, and basically they're blaming the marriages that are breaking apart on Nigerian community will come into your household and destroy it for you. That was the context we started this conversation from, and they're a little bit all over the place now. So that's what it is, But let me go back a little bit because I think he's about to wrap up his Yanni. Shout out to Daddy Freeze for the content. Fair use. I'm probably okay. I love chocolate. You too, cool mama. You love chocolate. Oh no, most like chocolate men. Really? Wahala. You're all Gen Zs. That's why. I think you're not Gen Zs or millennials. Love chocolate. I think the Gen X and before that, I think they love their yellow pawpaw. Is that accurate? Right? No, mostly like tall, dark, and handsome. For Adewale, you're like Gen Y or something. Come on, man. Come on. You're the people are like Generation Y. Okay. Generation Alpha they're not big enough. Let's see here. I have the best neighbor ever. This man is white. He has saved me a lot of money. His garage is like Home Depot. See? A sense of community is what we're talking about here at the end of the day. At the enter my which one is disgusting? I missed something. No, Ola, you're not making it up. We see it. I thought I know what I was talking about. It's the man that likes bleaching women. Wait, what? Another angle. No. That's another angle. I don't think so. No. Let's keep going here. What Carol White cannot do does not exist. What Carol White cannot do does not exist. Is that the name of a cream? Oh yeah, I'm making that up from your experience, Abby. Let's see. Chocolate. I still do on this chocolate issue. I think men are the ones on that table. The one that like yellow pawpaw. Okay. No wonder one can easily identify them when they pay visit here. You see them walking like others are the Ishawuru. Wait, who did we? August visit. Oyade, what's going on, Oyade? How are you? Good to see you. She said, that is not true. Women prefer dark men worldwide. You're projecting. Oh, I am projecting. See, I'm collecting like stray bullets. Look at this. Yes, you're making it up. Chocolata for life. Okay. All right, I'll take it. I think they're about to start talking again. That is why we have tall, dark, and handsome. But Oyade, let me guess. You're generation what? Y? Millennia? Are you a millennia? You're a millennia, right? Exactly. You're a millennia or Gen Z. So, no, you're not on this table. Oh, God. Wait, Auntie B, they say chat too. Auntie B, how far are you there? I know you're in the middle of work, probably. We're here. Oh, yes, we prefer dark skinned men. Oh, any man bleaching has low self-esteem. And yeah, small D. Bleaching men don't collect like this. I didn't mean to, gentlemen. I'm sorry. But yeah, I do think you're weird if you're bleaching as a man. I personally think you're weird. But weirdness is not a crime. You know, Timmy probably bleaches. Timmy that was talking earlier is probably a bleacher. Right? Timmy, are you a bleacher? I bet Timmy is a bleacher. Show us your picture. Put your picture on your DP. I dare you. You bleach, Timmy. Stop the cap. Anyway, Tochukwu said that debate made me so worried about our people's mindset towards each other. Yeah, shout out to you, Tochukwu. It's weird. No, not many of my Nigerian friends. Their eyes glaze over yellow pawpaw. Really? Are you Gen Z? Tell me what age you are. Your generation. What generation are you? If you're a Gen Z, I agree. You don't like yellow pawpaw men. Okay, I agree. If you are Generation X, stop the cap. Auntie B, you I know you're Generation X, but your contemporaries, I think they liked yellow pawpaw, because these men that are bleaching, they still think that way. They think people like yellow pawpaw, so they are bleaching. Self-hate at all levels. It's the ones before millennials that were colorist. Now we're talking. I know what I'm talking about. Well, I didn't say they're colorist. I didn't give them a name. But they bleach and they're weird. Let them be visiting psychologists. Wahala. Bleaching cream is disgusting. That's the only thing they are still going to African stores to go and do. No cap. They like Nigerian food too. But wait. What's going on here? Thank God my sisters and brothers over there are very correct. Yeah. See, that's why we're talking. It's men that like yellow women. That is why the dark girls are all marry wealthy Oyimbos. No, that's cap too. The same cap, okay? The same cap. Everybody needs to wear it. Okay, stop the cap. Okay. Generalizations at best. We love dark skin. I love dark skin women. Are you kidding me? My wife is light skin, but I love dark skin women. Don't get it twisted. What is Gen Y? Gen Y is millennials, I think. I mean, between Gen Z and millennial. What is between? There's no between. Between means you were born in 2000, the year 2000. Is that what you mean? Or something, or 98, something like that, right? If I want to feel young, I should Gen Z. And if I want to form Egbon, I choose millennial. Okay, so 98. I think you're talking about 98, born in 97, 98. A man that will go bleach as massive inferiority. We don't want to change this topic to... Anyway, let's continue the conversation.
Hold on. So we also need to understand that, in as much as our cultures and ideologies are good,
Voila.
and the
Depression.
foreign cultures and ideologies are not understood and accepted by us, we must still learn that there's a lot about our culture and our traditions that are very invasive. People have no privacy.
Let me find that comment. I missed it.
Privacy. You make money, it is assumed that it is family money.
Yeah.
You understand? A friend of mine's father.
It's an assumption by people with low self-esteem. It's not.
How could he spend money?
It's not about money. Some people just like their privacy.
Was going abroad to get a degree when his younger brother.
No, not many of my Nigerian friends. Their eyes glaze over. Okay, I think I read that. Yeah.
If I know if you give up, why you no give up? So there is no abroad. You can't try it. Your mother cannot come and meet you abroad and say you are not helping your brother. It is impossible. Abroad, your mother. I was watching George Judy. A girl.
What's up, Badibo? How far?
Card to go and do liposuction. They asked her why. She said her mother was living in her house rent free. The fact that somebody is living in your house does not mean you can go and use their credit card.
Daddy Freeze, where's the rest of the content now?
And one thing
I want.
The question I was going to ask is.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
In relation to the topic about divorce and marriages, like I still don't understand the correlation between the Nigerian community and people getting divorced. Because just like you said,
there's no correlation. That's why you don't understand. You're just being diplomatic. So you're like, tell me more. But they can't tell you nothing. They will just make insult. They will just insult one sentence and run away. That's the generalization. That's all they can do. Okay, women do it, men do it. Okay, just one sentence and they will run away because they really don't want to share their experience. At least some of these ones, they don't know how they can be dragged online, so they're still sharing. At some point, if they enter the wrong room, they will be dragged with their balls. Because the experience is really worth speaking. Not, there's no correlation. There's divorces everywhere in the world. If anything, you might want to correlate the westernized mindset with divorce, because people think they can move mad like they did 30 years ago, forgetting that people have options. So yes, there is divorce if you're not paying attention to that. People have more options. Yes, there will be divorce. It's a reality. Okay, the more educated they are, the higher the chances they won't tolerate the BS. Okay, that's just reality. You can look at it and say, oh, okay, there's something, I'm confused, there's something new I need to learn, right? Or you can say, no, they are too smart for me, like this yellow purple brother just said. I don't like women that are too smart. Nigerian women are just too smart for me. But he ended up marrying another one. With that mindset, God help his new marriage. May God help his new marriage.
You should know how to set boundaries. Are you getting my point? Because there's another Yoruba saying that I don't see why we are making this a Nigerian community thing, like discussing the people to...
Yeah, but
like Togiri Obalanu, Alangba Olewole. If the wall doesn't crack open, a lizard will not enter. If you don't open the doors, somehow, somewhere, yes, potentially indirectly. I know you didn't say I'm opening the door, so these people are not supposed to come into my marriage. Well, if there's a crack, it's not that the Obigiri is opening his mouth. If there's a crack in your marriage, things will enter. Things, lizard, ejo, snakes, it will enter. But guess what you're going to blame for that? If you have to blame anybody for that, you have to blame self. You have to blame self. If you have to blame, okay, I don't think you need to blame, because blame is just destructive. Even self-guilt is destructive, right? But there's something you need to learn, and it starts with self. You can't blame all of Nigerian community in the diaspora for that. That's your problem. You can't tell people that move a certain way, maybe their accent is not as blush as yours. You know, because your wife befriended one of them. You now say, it's because you have been hanging out with this type of chicks. That's the problem. You're right, that's the problem. Guess whose problem is it? Yours. Your problem. Anyway, let's continue. Let's see.
You're missing sorry, bro. You're missing their point. Their point is that there are influences that exist within those communities that affect you in your relationship at home.
You know what?
So if you
DJ, you are both saying the same thing.
There are influences. What are you going to do about it? Complainers are explainers. They never get to the issue of the problem, right? It's external factors. You can't. You don't have any control of that. Starting even yourself. There's certain external factors affecting you before you reach another human being. How much more your wife, that you can't control. The only thing you can do about that is learn how to navigate. That's all you can do about it. The rest of it, you're entertaining yourself. Misery Love Company is entertaining to other people in the world, but they're not going to learn any. You're not saving anybody, and it's worse. You're not even saving yourself.
If the wall does not open its mouth, lizard cannot enter. That's Togiri Obalanu Alangba Olewobe.
Yeah.
It's a Yoruba. Now,
he wants to disagree. Togiri Obalanu, he's about to disagree with Togiri. Ancient adage that is 100% correct. You can't disagree with Togiri Obalanu Alangba Olewobe. Are you mad ni? She you won't whine me ni? You cannot disagree with that adage. Can make sense.
if you carry your life and go and give the community and you don't set boundaries, you cannot dictate how they will react.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, but you may set boundary as a man or as a woman. Your partner may not set boundaries. So you will be fighting a proxy war.
Common sense in the poto. I'm done. What he said makes sense. 1 + 1 = 0 on paper. In real life, it's
You think say they wise?
I don't know, man.
You see, so some people would believe that the best thing to do is to just stay away and not get yourself into that mix, because that could be toxic for you. You see, so that
your circle is, yes, you should control your circle, but you cannot blanket Nigerians into a community and your circle. He contradicts himself so much; it's ridiculous. At first, he says individual to individual, but then now he's saying like you have to stay away from. Okay, so let me just, I'm going to net positive him, okay? Yes, there are some people you should stay away from, all right? Yes, I'll agree to that. But I just smell that he's really trying to say Nigerian community. That's what he's trying to say, you know. Could they work? And to me, so bleaching black men and Oyinbo is not the same. Some black men prefer even ancestors Oyinbo men because most of them treat women as equals and show. No, they're not the same. Absolutely not. I just decided to pick on him because I felt like Timmy was a bleaching man. Freeze is always making stupid and generalized statements about abroad. Yeah, I think he's also, I think Freeze is definitely a gross generalizer, but he's also intentionally instigating because he knows they will fall for it, right? It's good content strategy, I guess. Oyinbo man wants mostly darkest African women. They do? I didn't know that. Thanks for bringing it back, brother. They're still not. Hey, Temilade, don't be a stranger, Temilade. What's going on? Shout out to Temilade. Thank you so much for your support in the past. I appreciate you. I know it's the timing of the day. Sorry. It's okay. Yeah, that is if he's still married. Yeah, that marriage with that mindset. Marriage is controlled by your mindset. All it takes is one person's wrong mindset to destroy the marriage. That's all it takes, okay? In the same token, all it takes to really build an awesome marriage is one person to start a good dance. One wise, emotionally intelligent, people won't have a choice then to follow that dance if you're a good leader. But, it's extremely hard to have one person doing all the work. It gets very hard. But if you understand seduction and attraction is absolutely positive. But if one person is just like proactively going in the negative direction, that's tough. And all it takes is just the mindset, right? It's certain things you say that's coming from that, and it's worse. Even it can be worse if you're not saying it out. It's operating at a very, very subconscious level, right? The passive aggressive type, yeah. But this mindsets right here, particularly, color of their skin shouldn't be their problem. Instead, it's not even that relevant. I just think it's an indication of a lot of things going on inside. People's skin color is like, but oftentimes it's an indication of what's going on inside. In my opinion, Tokuchuku says divorce is more prevalent in Nigeria than abroad. It's just that we like to pretend, and it's not documented, right? People are leaving their wife, their husbands all the time, right? And a lot of people are getting married. It's not even documented. Majority of Nigerians they're not in Ikoyi. They are getting married that's actually not documented on paper. Did you know that? So if they left their family, or somebody cheated on their husband, or they left their wife, cheated on their husband, have multiple wives in different households, who is documenting that? Of course, nobody's documenting that. Until you show me that data, you can't really claim that the Western world has more divorce. You can't really claim that. Humans are humans everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. So good point. How many women are divorced and still in their so-called husband house? They're not together. Wahala. Let's continue.
Almost done. I want to say something, and people are asking for my account. It is pinned there. 100
Daddy Freeze is worried about his account
if you're
now.
enjoying the topic, if you're watching on TikTok, remember to send me money guns, and my top gifters will be specially appreciated today. Sadly, nobody is buying my
Adewale, you're absolutely correct. Saying what will really happen in their marriage would expose their bad behavior.
You want me to start crying now? Okay, follow.
And I would say, Adewale, even worse is the lack of self-accountability. Like, they can't see that they're wrong. See, it's different when they see that they're wrong, and that's another issue. Those ones exist. They can see that they're wrong, but they're just not willing to accept. But there are some people that they can't see that they're wrong. They're the worst. They're the worst. Lack of self-awareness is the worst thing ever, right? The worst thing ever, because they'll just gaslight you because they can't see what they can't see, right?
Over to you.
You see, I agree with what they're all saying and what you said. One thing about marriage, I'm not
so many solid Nigerians.
Like I said earlier on, everybody has their ups and downs in marriage, but there should be an understanding.
That is wala. Shout out to you, Joe.
Between the both of you, yeah, that you are not going to start saying your matter outside, up and down. You need because if it gets into the wrong ears, yeah, as long as you keep hearing the same.
Hey, do me a favor. We're missing about 25 likes. Please go ahead and hit the like button. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, cool mama. Please hit the like button. We're missing about 25 likes. If you just go ahead and hit the like button, I'll appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. We'll continue.
Chat about how women are liberated in this country, how women have the power in this country, how women are this, how women are that, how women are this. You will at some point you just like you tell your husband, guy, you know, you cannot come and do anything to me, I'll drive you out. You know, it happens. You know, I just feel that women should, and men, because
sorry, who is Brother Bernard? Did I miss something? Who is Brother Bernard? Breathe in and out. Oh, I had a facial expression, right? That I needed that, right? I probably did. Thank you, Eunice. All of this issue don't turn to Brother Leonard in Poto mod. Who is Brother Leonard? Who's Brother Leonard? I'm missing something. Am I missing something? The guy with the glasses. Oh, is Brother Leonard? His sleep color betrays. Voila, I'll leave that alone. He talks about both sides of he talks out of both sides of his mouth. Is he the Brother Leonard or Brother Bernard? I'm confused. Yeah, I don't follow that if he's that much. I do stumble in and out. I don't know the names of the characters. But that's in every community, not just Nigerian community. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Nigerians are good and great people. Each time I came across them, anytime I travel outside Italy, very accommodative. That's your experience, and that's a good testimony, right? And in the same token, I don't want to just say Nigerians are just perfect people in the world, right? They're not. They're not, because we'll be committing the same offense, except that it's positive. There is a space for it. It doesn't go viral anyway. They don't want to hear that we're positive anyway. The one that goes viral is when you talk toxic about the community, right? Because misery loves company. That's the one we need to push against. And that's why it might seem like we're pushing more against the other side more than anything else, you know. Wait, is that Brother Leonard? Let me see. Yeah, somebody share with me. Who is Brother Leonard? I'm missing that part. Brother Leonard, Bernard, I'm missing that. Nigerians are good, great. Okay, we talked about that. Now to say, hold on. So this racism-ish is toxic. Why don't you stay away from America and the West? Because of that, this ones they can't relate.
But it's not just only women who go through this; men too go through this too. You know, you should learn to set boundaries, and that doesn't just
it's boundaries at a personal level, not setting boundaries on your wife. That really doesn't work. Okay, you set boundaries for yourself. That it's basically you give yourself. You have self-respect. People will mimic the level of respect you have for yourself. Yeah, oftentimes it's an indirect thing. You're like, how did I disrespect myself? How did I? Well, you tolerate BS, right? That you just can't tolerate. And what do? You blame other people for it, where you can actually look at self and say, how did I attract that? At least, first of all, look at that. At least, first of all, look at that. How did I attract the situation I am in? If it's a physical altercation or assault, somebody lay their hands on you type of thing, you know what time it is. You call the police. I don't care if it's your wife or your husband. They need to be checked properly by the authorities, okay? It doesn't matter why. You don't give them excuses. You just say it's the first time. No. You call it needs to be checked. And if you're afraid so that your marriage doesn't end, by the time they come back from police or being arrested, maybe that's the problem of the marriage. Maybe the fact that you're in this marriage because of fear. Maybe that's the problem. There's a lot going on there. We can't generalize. We need to break. But if somebody lays their hands on you, but if we're talking about emotional exchange, verbal exchange, there's something about you that attracted the situation you're in. I didn't say it's your fault. I'm saying there's something about you, especially if it's over an extended period of time. At some point, you gotta look at self. That's where your power is. That's where your power is. You look at yourself and say, how? Right? So the problem is yours, not necessarily you are the problem. The problem is yours. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. The problem is a blessing. Don't give it away. Don't be so quick to give it away. Right? Let's keep going.
It's not just your family, it's your friends too. What you say to them and what you hear from them. If you are that kind of woman that when they tell you things, you try and start seeing all the fake things that they do. You follow them too. But if you're a woman or a man that you're you understand? You will
the brother Bernard. That's actually he's a skit maker. Okay. Thank you for that. I get it now. Okay, we need to give him his credit. Yes. Brother Bernard is always in the pot of. It takes me a while. To catch up. Oh my God. So that's Brother Bernard. Yes, in the pot. Okay, that makes sense now. Thank you for sharing. I'm just catching it. Okay, all right. Thank you, Chie.
Know how to hold your relationship. So I strongly
shout out to Yorema.
With explicit that if you roll with the right crowd, you will not have any toxicity around you.
That's false. That's cap. That's false. That is cap.
Stop the cap.
That is false, and that's cap. Okay. If you're feeling toxin, particularly the one you're blaming on the whole community, it's you. It will follow you everywhere you go. No, you're not that special, including me. Okay? No, you're not that special. If for some reason you're feeling some kind of toxin, right? These people are not directly interacting with you, right? I'm not saying people are not toxic. Okay? Let me hide this. It's probably you. I will hide the word probably. Okay? It is probably you. There's no guarantee. There is no guarantee that you remove yourself suddenly. There's no toxic vibes around you. Every family, like, let me just stay in my family. Leave those people over there, like the first brother said. Ironio, don't deceive yourself. Don't deceive yourself. Every family has dysfunction, has toxic people, toxic behavior. It's just human thing. It's a human thing. Conflict is what you're calling toxin. It's your responsibility to learn how to handle conflict. In every type of relationship you enter into or you find yourself inside. A father, mother, remember the story. Go and watch many of you, when we're done with this show, make sure you go watch the Brian McKnight episode. The one that I did last night. Make sure you go watch it. It's everywhere. It's not a Nigerian thing, no. It's everywhere. The only thing you can do about it is how you respond to it. That's all you can do. And the more you the better you are at responding to it, the less you attract, because people just know they can't bring certain things to you. They just know. In fact, a lot of time you don't have to show them, you don't have to open your mouth wide. They can feel it. Oftentimes they just see your vibe. They just know, nah, this guy, yeah, it's not that guy, you know. Yeah, it's not that guy I can bring talks into.
Let me tell you a story.
He's going to tell us a story.
When I
if it's
first
too long,
moved
I will
to
skip it.
Lagos with my ex, we stayed in an estate called Dolphin Estate. There's the duplex side of Dolphin Estate, and then there's the flat that police bar.
Dolphin Estate.
We stayed in the flat. She had a friend called Patience. And I remember one day, there was a woman that was selling things. A woman that was selling about 2002. She told my ex that be careful with this girl, because my friend and my ex and the girl were getting very chummy. I'll come out. You know, it's not like now. You get the way I go house now. See the same woman in my house every night with taste buds.
That's a very common thing. I went through that at least 2 times. Be careful with this girl. You have to be careful with that. You yourself, that you're telling your wife to be careful with certain girls, it's not that you're wrong. Remember, it's never really that you're wrong. It's really never that, right? But there's a lot more that goes into that. You have to use a lot of wisdom with that, right? Be careful with that girl. Adewale says, do women really have the power, or they're making use of existing law, whether they are at fault or not? Saying women have power in the West is just blatantly wrong. Well, it is power. It's a source of power, right? But you're right about who gave them the power. Why do they have this power? Like, if this power is so bad, there are ways to go about it, but it's not going to be overreaction, you know. But yeah, it is power, you know. I don't have to be the one who gave myself power. If I have power, I just have a point of leverage that I can use against whatever the enemy or victim is, right? And the truth is that, yes, it is being used, and it is power. If it can be used, it is power. You don't have to own it, right? I actually like power much more than I like money, because it's like the same thing with money. It doesn't have to be your money. It's about, do you understand the leverage that you have? The same reason why this country can be in a certain amount of trillions of dollars in debt and still be running the world. Leverage, right? Power and leverage. Power, leverage, not necessarily ownership. It could be ownership, but it's more like ownership of the power, as opposed to people that can't think at that level. You know, now wahala. It's another conversation entirely. But leverage and power is much more powerful for obvious reasons, right? Good evening, Esther.
Because I know where I'm coming from with that kind of behavior. And I remember the woman telling my ex, that girl is not, she should be careful with the girl. My ex came to report to me at that time, I wasn't concerned the woman. You understand? My ex now went
You're
to
right,
tell
Brother
the girl.
Patrick.
The girl now went to fight that woman.
Life is too short.
In 2014, when my ex was coming to pack her load, finally, she came with her patience. Oh, wow. It took about 11 years. But it was when she came with that, I now remember. Guess what? The patient too is divorced.
All right. So there's a correlation there. Correlation is not the same thing as causation. Did you hear that story? Correlation is not the same thing as causation. They could correlate, okay? You could argue that, yeah, if you hang around certain types of friends, you will end up divorced too. I believe that too, right? But causation, right? You got to be careful with that. You know, he just told his story. Yes, you have to be careful what kind of friends you keep around. You might end up in the same predicament. A very high chance. Let's be honest, okay? However, You can't blame. You have to, if you're going to blame anybody, there's no need to blame, first of all, for the ending of a marriage. But if you have to blame, you need to start and end at the people inside of the marriage. Okay, that's the point I'm making here. So the story is pointless. It's not. It's entertaining at best. Okay, that's about all you can get from it. So now the next time you see, a girl rub you up the wrong way, she's hanging out with your wife, the last thing you want to do is, because of this story, go and overreact. You go collect premium loju pali.
Sorry.
Okay, you will just basically create a problem that really never existed. It's happening a lot. Okay, I told you this happened to me. Now what I learned is that my radars goes off. I protect her if there's a need to protect her, and then we can have a conversation. I could ask for clarification. I was like, this is your friend. I can, and she'll pick up what I'm trying to say. No, don't judge us because of this. Oh, okay, I'm good. You enjoy hanging around her, whatever, just be careful. Oftentimes, I don't have to get to that part. I don't have to get there at all. I don't have to get there. Right? And a little patience if you're really right. If you're right, they will rub each other off the wrong way. She will come back here and tell me the story. Patience. Instead, as opposed to overreaction, being overreactive and just assuming because your wife has a friend who seem like they bleach. And you're like, what kind of friend do you have that's bleaching? All these low self-esteem people, they will break up our marriage. If that's how you react to it, you will break up your marriage by yourself. Okay? I understand you kind of feel weirded out. Why would your wife be hanging out with this girl that bleaching? Listen, there's too many good people I know. Nice people that bleach. I do think men that bleach are weird. A part of me that's not calling women that bleach weird is because I know them. They are extremely nice people. For whatever personal reasons they bleach, it is what it is. They call it enhancement. Some of them call it toning, whatever, right? But there's too many good people I know personally that bleach. What do you want me to tell you? Okay? That's not the same thing as extremely good people, good character in terms of my interaction with them. But for you to know, like, all these girls that bleach, all these girls are for the street, this is what you're hanging out, you will just destroy your own marriage for no reason. You're overreacting. And you too, you deserve soft life. Why are you doing like this to yourself? Let's continue.
I saw her husband. What they say, I saying to they don't get us. So sometimes you need to understand that.
Oh wait, let me address that really quickly. You meant Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze was sued with 5 million lawsuits by the ex-husband of his current wife. Oh, I remember that story. The man sued him for having an affair with his wife while still married to him. Wahala. Yeah, I remember that story actually. A lot of his projections are coming from that space. Personal experiences as usual, right? Yep, I agree. Sometimes the problem is internal and not internal. All the time, the problem are both internal and external. Focusing on the external is giving your power away. Okay? Being obsessed with the external causes of your problems is weak. Okay? If you're going to be obsessed with anything, I'm talking emotional levels, be obsessed with how am I moving that's creating this. Okay, it's all like I'm never discounting that there are things around you happening that's causing part of your problems. No, that's the reality of life. That's why you live in a society, right? But if you get obsessed with the external factors, there's a good chance you will hurt yourself even more. Okay, you're playing defense and you're taking your eyes off of the balls of playing offense. Right? The best you can do with that is nobody will score on you, but you will miss out on life.
There are people who love having a huge community of friends. At a point in my life too, I also had a huge community of friends. Because I'm in not a new relationship, but a newish relationship. And I must have learned something from my old relationship.
Yeah.
One of the things I learned is the fewer people that know about your matter, the better.
Exactly.
That's a good point that they can extract from this issue. Because human beings are spirits. They're carrying their own trauma, their own projections, and all these different things. Right? And if you allow it, people will destroy your situation for you. Not necessarily deliberately. Right? Not they just want to be able to make fun of me later. You are giving your power away again. People are people. Including me. Everybody. Okay? Just understand that. So when you understand that concept, then it makes sense that, hey, contain your situation. Don't just spread it all over the place, because it just get messy. Because people are messy. That's why we put structures. That's why I'm talking about this. Right? So you can have some structure. Just understand. Be self-aware. Be aware about the world you live in. Right? And stop having unrealistic expectations of people. Speaking of unrealistic expectations, shout out to you, Tochukwu. Tochukwu says, before I used to overpromise and not deliver, and caused a lot of issues with my relationship to other people. Good point. Self-reflection. You're not blaming yourself. You're saying, hey, that's something I can be better at. Right? What does self-blame and guilt look like? It's my fault, I cry. And then you resent yourself. Guess who you're going to punish with that eventually, because you're a human being? All the people around you. You become toxic. And the real issue is just guilt, as opposed to power. Like, what can I learn from my experiences? But the point that Freeze is just making too, right? I made personal reflection and noticed that this was a problem. I changed it. That can't argue with that, you know. But Abner is just meme from a video of lady who fell into my brother's grave. Oh, okay. Now I will be transparent from the beginning. Sometimes it makes me overshare, but keeps me honest with people I relate with. Yeah, it's a lot that goes as a balance, it's a dance, right? You're being honest, but you're creating problems. Yes, being honest is not enough. What do you mean? You think because you're honest, you're supposed to create good relationships? No. Like, what do you mean? What kind of unrealistic expectations is that? Everyone can't handle your level of whatever you call honesty, which is false, which is just your own idea of honesty. It's just your filters. So what's the solution here? Active listening, real time. Feel on people, mirror people. Right? Don't be so quick. Have some patience with yourself. Don't be so quick to jump into conclusions because you see patterns. So it must be all of Nigerian communities that destroying their own marriage. What? Okay, that's common sense. But common sense is a terrible guide to relationships, life, and love. Let's continue.
I used to talk freely in front of this same lady. And when I go, my ex will make
him and his ex.
Later on.
His personal experiences now. And to be so here we go about his ex again. Freeze, go to therapy. Hey, voila.
And my ex will jaboram. And I go just look and say, why is someone like this your friend? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No. Let's continue. Let's see if it's.
Let's see. Break, you go look for how you go spend 2 weeks with your boyfriend, the rest for house. Go find life.
Let's end it there. What time is it? Oh, okay, just short of 3 hours. It is an emergency meeting. It's very important. Very important. Adewale says, I understand what you're saying, Brother Ola. I'm saying the context in which they use it does not paint the entire picture. Yeah, we're saying the same thing. If you're talking about the other situation, same thing. Yeah. Hey, Patricia, good to see you, Patricia. Good to see you. You're all late. You have to watch the replay. Let's see. Yvette says, Ola, I have to run to some errands. Shout out to you, Yvette. I appreciate you. Brother Patrick says, From my experience, our women would always think a man is jealous if you tell them to be careful of certain friends. Because it feels that way. So they're saying the feeling is all that matters. No, it's not your stupid logic. Your logic should include and account for the fact that you're speaking to a human being with feelings. So even if you're going to speak truth, you at least need to be aware that the other person is going to feel something so you can mitigate. Right? Now you can, after you've done that, you can now claim to be logical. Okay? Because that feelings that you are sowing seeds in, that you're tampering with, is part of your logical world. Right? And then leave some room for errors. Maybe you're missing something. Right? And that will drive how you approach the issue, even if you really want to protect your wife. It will drive how you approach that. Like, hey, babe, here's my concerns. This person, they do this. Make it fun. Say it in a fun way. Make it a little banterish. This is your friend. Where you like, don't be so deep for you, so serious. You overreact. And then you're wondering, like, oh. And then before you know it, you end up in the box of people that have marriages where their wife has japa in the japas. You're confusing yourself. You're going to find enough people, misery love company, that will agree with you. But your stories are not the same. It's just that misery loves company. Right? Yep. Most of these people need to heal themselves. Your partners are not always your problems. Yeah. If your partner are your problems, whose partner is it? Is it mine? Isn't it your partner? Whose problem is that? Don't give away your problem. Including if your partner's is the problem, that is your problem. Don't give it away. Assess the situation on an individual, case-by-case level. Yeah, including inside of your own life. It's easy to say you did this yesterday, so you're going to do that. Ladies, including that, you're going to do that. Resist the urge. That particular case, isolate it and say, I feel some type of way. It's okay to express that you've seen patterns. I'm just saying, don't be careful. Don't hurt yourself in that process. Okay? Avoid saying things like, you always do this. You never do this. Number one, for a fact, you're exaggerating. Number two, yes, you're speaking from your feelings. Whatever they're doing that's hurting your feelings is making it feel like it's always. Number three, you're going to hurt yourself. It's a lie. Anytime you say, she always do this, she never do that. Those two words, never and always.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
It's a lie. You're exaggerating. Exaggeration is a lie. It's not your fault. You're coming from a place of feeling, but it's your fault. It's your responsibility, not your fault, to be aware of these things. Your responsibility. This is the highest views I've seen on his channel. Man of Prestige is growing. Is this the highest view you've seen? Interesting. Yeah, it just happened to be during the day. I think our peak was what? 100 plus something? 200? I'm not sure. I don't remember. Our average is 20. Okay, we're always here, just so you know. If you don't engage, so they're not showing it to you. It's your fault. Okay, it's not your fault, Patricia. Just make sure you join the notification gang on WhatsApp. I will notify you always. But shout out to all of you here today. Low self-esteem leads to believe that their color is their problems. Wahala. Yes, I think low self-esteem is the main issue. It's not a crime. To a large extent, most of us have some kind of low self-esteem or insecurity in one area or the other, but I think I would trace it back to that. If the way God gave birth to you is not good enough, it's low self-esteem. Okay. Toke bleaches, lots of amazing folks bleaches. I don't know Toke personally. Do you know Toke personally? I don't know if she's an amazing person. She's an amazing entertainer, right? And she's my birthday mate, right? So maybe that's enough to call her amazing, right? Is honesty might not be good enough. Yeah, honesty is like, what do you mean honesty? Oftentimes when people say honesty, is like, what do you mean by that? Like, who's the monopolizer of this standard of truth? What are we talking about? The Bible? Or even that one to collect stray bullets from time to time, because the way they interpret every verse is scary. You know? Speaking of expectations, a friend always expected everyone to call her the way she calls them. It's a problem. It's problematic. This problem is problematic behavior, right? Told her you have more time and love talking. You may feel entitled, but doesn't mean you will get them for, like, it's unrealistic. It's unreal. Manage your expectations, people. Okay? You know? Every day, my ex, kilo day, voila. On your coffee break, stranger. Good to see you on your coffee break. We are all exposed to various information daily. It's our responsibility to draw wisdom from all this information. So we are responsible for our actions. Not the Nigerian community or Caribbean. Thank you, coffee break. That's apt. Will make sense, Bajie. And to be attire for him, or he claims to be happy and so in love with his current. No, I guarantee you it's backfiring. Okay? It's backfiring. if you're not obsessed with your ex, but if you're obsessed with just purely negative things about your ex, it will backfire. It will hurt your present situation. Listen, it's a fact. Okay? And I don't ever say something is a fact or absolute. I generally don't say that. This one is a fact. Okay? All right? And it's lack of game. The X are X's for a reason. Okay? If all you're drawing from your ex is positive, we can call cap on that, but it's better. Right? If it's just always this negative stuff, yeah. BB, good to see you, baby. BB say, I got married at 36. By this time, most of my friends were divorced. Ouch. You can imagine the anxiety I felt. Yes, because you're a human being like the rest of us. This is the problems, right? The most viral stuff is problems. These are the issues. You know? No, it's not Mrs. It's these issues. I think he resents his ex more like resenting. He hasn't seen his kids in 5 years. You know, I would manage my expectations off of a daddy freeze. How about that? Okay, you haven't seen your kids in 5 years or plus. That's a tough one. Okay, that would knock anybody off of their emotional centeredness, control, all of that. It would knock any human being off of that. So I will manage my expectations around him. You know, support system is necessary. Internet trolls are not support system. It doesn't matter if they're supporting you or seemingly supporting you. Please call him Daddy Free X. No episode without mentioning his ex. Waladi. Shout out to you, host. Love your memes. Thank you. I appreciate you, Tochuku. Thank you. When will you have a meet and greet? I will be having an event eventually. Okay, we will be doing events, physical events. Okay, definitely sooner than later. We're working on that. We're working on a platform that we can all grow together, a community. Okay, so just be on the lookout for that. Okay. Even when they realize where mistakes are coming from, pride. Thank you, Verona. Thank you for bringing that up to the screen. I need it. I haven't done it today yet. These are the 4-point focus right here. Pride. It will destroy everything when it's misguided. I love pride, but it will destroy everything when it's misguided. Yeah. But Tochuku, thank you for the love of the memes. Thank you so much. You know what time it is. Let me take a quick break while we dance more. You know what time it is? Natu, my G. You know what's up? Everybody go support Natu. Please go support Natu. Go follow her. She has some nice, listen, we've been enjoying the stuff you sent to us. In fact, there's a video that you might want to go back into the past where we highlighted a lot of our fragrance products that you definitely need to check out. Nasu, you know, Natu, please leave that. I think, what was the name of the Qualisa.incorporated. Please, Natu, don't do me like this. Always put it in your super chats, please. Qualisa.incorporated.inc, sorry, Qualisa.inc on Instagram. Go support her. She's offering some stuff. But you know what time? I'm gonna play that one more time before we round up for the day. All right, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you all. Great question. He did mention in one of his past shows that he and his wife are planning one. Yes, we are working on it, definitely. That is because people are more tolerable to women cheating than men. Are you sure? We understand why women bleach, but men. Oh, to bleaching, not tolerable to women bleaching. You mean bleaching, okay? I don't get it too. Yeah, that's yeah. You're right. You've diagnosed me properly, but I think it's weird for men to bleach. Okay, women, I'm like, oh my sure, but nice person, right? When you are feeling the emptiness of their ex, remove pride and beg for reconciliation. When will you and our beautiful solar come to London? Soon. We're gonna make it to London soon. Many men are broken emotionally and they become barking dogs out there. Many people. What happens that oftentimes when you end up in one echo chamber, you just think it's just those people. So for me, it's very easy to mention men crying on the internet because I tend to watch their zone, so I can understand where they're coming from. For you, maybe you watch, it depends on also your own personal biases too, and all of that and everything in between. But it's really many people are broken emotionally and they become barking dogs. Hit dogs holler. Lighten the mood. Yeah, we do that here sometimes. Nothing bad if you beg your ex when you're at fault. Laying blame on innocent people around will haunt you like two sharp knives. Yeah, it's even deeper than that. You know, that's a conversation we're going to have another day. I just think self-respect, self-love, self-accountability, self-awareness, social intelligence, power intelligence. Yes, there's a power dynamics at play. Oftentimes, when I face each other, as opposed to lock arms together with your partner and face these forces of darkness. Okay, these external factors that you're blaming, when you lock arms with your partner, right, and you face these external forces together, right? Remember the crack in the wall. If there's no crack in the wall, there's no external forces coming to destroy nothing. I want bitibawo for weird. There's nowhere to enter, right? But if you overreact, right, and you now turn indirectly, oftentimes, you turn your partner to your enemy. That is a crack. That's power dynamics playing a part in all of that. You're losing your power, right? That's why we say self-power, social intelligence, right? Emotional intelligence, right? Seduction, attraction. That's why we're talking from that standpoint, right? There's no in this conversation. There's no room for blame. They're poisons. Number 3, it's a poison. There's no room for blame. You gotta be careful. You have to be careful. There's no room for blame. Yes, Qualisa on IG.inc. Okay, Qualisa.inc right there. Go support her. Let's see here. Yep. So shout out to everybody. There's no room for blame, shame, particularly shaming. Okay, particularly shaming, not shame. Shame is not necessarily a bad thing if it's a product of a value system. But see, we're adjusting as we go along, right? But shaming in particular does not work. It's a terrible strategy. It's basically you're trying to jump the gun. The people don't agree to values with you, but you're trying to jump ahead. You want to force them into your value system. They don't agree. It doesn't work. They will push against, they will resent you, okay? They will defend themselves if they need to, because feelings is nobody's mate, okay? That's it right there. Those are the poisons. Those are the anti-seducers right there. But that's all I have for you. I think we've done this justice. 3 hours, 15 minutes, you know. It's a lot of gems in this section. I might just chop them up all over the place. Okay, I might chop them up and create some additional content from them so I can heal. This place was hurting a little bit, and we're gonna need to do something about that. All right. Did you guys got some value out of this today? Got some value out of this today? Let me do some quick shout outs. Thank you so much for Brother Patrick. Thank you for the support, Brother Patrick. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Yvette, shout out to you, Yvette, for the $10 super shot. I said shot. See, hasn't in the mud. Super chat. Okay. Tochuku, shout out to you for the £5. Thank you. So is that £5 or €5? I don't know. I don't know the difference. You know, either way, thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. Life with Natu, of course. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And again, everybody go support. Go support. You know, if you have businesses or anything like that, you want me to help you highlight, let me know. We don't mind. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you now. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace. I came back. I have to come back. Are you kidding me? I have to come back. Oh, you can't do that to me. I have to come back and shout out the super chat. $4.99 from Chinye, my G. I had to come back, Chinye. Come on. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. As always, let's do it. Now we can hand the peace, right? Hand in peace, okay? Yes, the accent end up in the water. Now we can hand in peace. Shout out to you, but thank you so much. Again, hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.
missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.